Molotov cocktails and that he intentionally looked up the Jewish group that conducted Sunday's march in support of hostages still being held by Gazan terrorists, and that he plotted the attack for a year. Solomon remained at the scene after burning at least 8 victims, chanting things such as Free Palestine. He's already being held on $10 million bond and is facing a slew of state charges.
Fox's Evan Brown. Solomon is due in court later this hour. President Trump calls the attack horrific and says it will not be tolerated, also criticizing Biden border policies in a Truth Social post. Immigration officials say the suspect is Egyptian and was in the U.S. illegally after overstaying a visa. Immigration and Customs Enforcement says just in May in Massachusetts, nearly 1,500 people were arrested, its largest operation to date. About half of them convicted or accused of crimes.
But ICE says nearly half of them are convicted criminals, like these 2 men from El Salvador. ICE says one was wanted for murder, kidnapping, and robbery, and the other, a convicted child rapist who, listen to this, was living next to a playground outside of Boston, according to police.
Fox's Alexis McAdams. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons accusing so-called sanctuary cities of making the arrest more dangerous by releasing suspects instead of cooperating. The Massachusetts governor accuses the Trump administration of spreading fear, also taking issue with the detention of an 18-year-old high school student whose visa had expired. Lyons says that student's father was the target. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Captid Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Look out. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer with Pete Davis, sidekick for this in Sports Wreck on tour extraordinaire. And the mechanical mangler at your controls, as always, it's Flounder, and it's Monday. And here we go. It's June. Mercy. June. It's June. Holy smokeroonies. How you doing? 303. Here's the number. 404-741-1230. Man, there's a million things going on today. And we're going to try to talk about 847,000 of them. So we'll never get to a million. A trillion things. And I got tickets to give away to Metallica. And I know probably 94% of our audience is probably going to be chomping at the bit for these babies. In fact, all right. Now, I don't know squat about anything, and I know who Metallica is because I used to watch the series Billions, and I think that was that guy's favorite band, and he used to have him on the series show playing bits and stuff as part of the shows and everything. So I know who they are, but I can't listen to that stuff, that headbanging heavy metal crack. It's just offensive to me. I can't hear it. So I mean, with all due respect to those who like it, great. I'm happy for you that you found. If you have sounds you like, God bless you. I mean, seriously, what do I care? Not for me, but so anyway. So I'm telling. So Pete and I, we're talking about how and Flounder got these tickets. So we have 2 tickets that we stole from the 680, I think, and we have 2 tickets to give away for the show tomorrow night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium tomorrow. The world tour for Metallica, and we have 2 tickets for Tuesday night, tomorrow night, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I'm trying to figure out how to give them away. And so I said, well, I don't know. I said, how many people are going to be chomping at the bit to try to get Metallica tickets? And Pete Davis said...
I said you would be surprised how many people in your audience, either they love it or their sons and daughters who are grown-ups love it.
Well, there you are. So anyway, so again, I don't want to be responsible for any kind of negative thing about this, but we have Metallica tickets. And that's got to be a big deal. I mean, they were huge, probably, 20 years? When were they their biggest? In the 90s? 2000?
When they came out with the Black Album, that was probably their biggest CD release, which was in the early 90s. I want to say 93 or 94.
So it's been a while. I mean, for a lot of people, they probably grew up with this music, so maybe that'd be a perfect thing. Here's a little Metallica right now as we speak. Anyway, so Pete Davis had a great idea. And I said, this will never happen. It will never. There's no chance in hell this will ever. Tell them what you want to do, Pete Davis.
I think we should have 2 people call up who really want these tickets, and we'll put you on hold.
Competing.
And we'll have one will sing a Metallica song, and then we'll have the other one sing a Metallica song. Could be the same song, and we'll decide who is the better Metallica
singing
song.
Your favorite version of some part of a Metallica song, something you love you some million times. So if we can get 2 people to call in now, 404-741-1230, or anytime, if that matters.
Well, hold on.
Right,
when do we want to do this? Because I don't want to flood the thing with phone calls.
Well, do you really think we're going to be flooded with phone calls from Metallica? Maybe we will. I don't know. And the problem is we got a million newsy things to talk about, so I don't want to do a music show. You want to do it after
3:30? You want to do it or after 4? You want to do it after 4?
We'll do it at 4:30.
Okay,
we're coming right out of the 4:30 break.
Okay, well, now we need to start. All right, 4:30.
That's a little late if nobody calls, and we're going to have to scramble to give away the tickets at that point.
That's true.
I've already got people calling right now, so I don't think it's going to be an issue.
All right, at 4:30. And again, we'll see if we can get a couple of people. And if you're listening now, and you can call us at 4:30, if we get 2 people who are willing to, or whoever are willing to sing for the tickets, and we'll have a sing-off. And now this may, if all of a sudden like 80 people are calling to get these tickets, that's be unwieldy.
First 2.
Yeah.
At 4:30. We'll clear the phones.
Yeah.
And at 4:30.
At 4:30. And again, if they all light up, then we'll figure out something. Okay, I mean, we'll try to be fair. Okay, so don't we'll try to be fair.
And there's 3 of us to vote, so there'll be a tiebreaker.
Right. Anyway, so we'll try to keep reminding you.
This is going to work out great. I can already tell.
Yeah. Great. All right, there you go. Okay, and again, 404-741-1230. Okie doke. Now, let's see. Geez, we got so many things. First of all, Pete Davis, Mountain Jamaican, weekend stuff. I know you had a little sports action in a while, baseball and stuff like that, but any weekend funniness, fantasticness?
I participated in the Olympics yesterday.
Which Olympics was that, sir?
The Olympics, the neighborhood Olympics.
And what were the contest? What do they call it? Categories of events.
It was the ABCs of Olympics. There was archery, badminton, and cornholing.
Oh, God. Now, okay, for those of you in different parts of the country.
Mountain cornholing.
Yeah, no, this is where they have a little board with holes in it, and you throw a beanbag into the hole and try to get in the hole. That's called cornholing to a certain amount of the population. So that's good. And so this was like a neighborhood thing. You don't have any neighbors. So
I know. It was friends. With friends we got together.
And so, and how, do you have any video of this event? I'm kind of surprised.
Yes, I think there was some video made about it. I have not seen it yet.
Well, call your mountain woman and tell them to get the hell down with the video. We want to see these mountain women get the video down here. Because I have to say,
Kevin won the archery because he got 6 targets, while the rest of us only got 1, basically. Badminton, my team won, which was Dave, Lauren, and who was that last one? It was Lori and Dave.
Well,
Lauren,
it doesn't matter. We're all drunk of it.
Yeah, and cornholing, we're tied.
Yeah.
And Belinda hit 3 in the hole on the fly on the last 3 tosses.
That's 12 points right there.
Wow, there you go.
That's right. So guess who won the Olympics?
You did, I guess.
I did.
I'll be damned.
I won the Olympics.
Yeah, I used to have a bow and arrows, an archery bag. What do you call it?
I'm getting some.
A case with. We used to go into the woods and shoot. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you might, hit somebody in the eye and in the throat and stuff like that, but it could happen. So what the hell, you're children. We'd go out in our bows and arrows in the woods and just shoot stuff and have fun. And we'd break a lot of arrows, and so we'd just buy some more. Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that expensive on Amazon to get a bow and arrow. It's pretty cheap.
Well, of course, we just did the silly little bow and arrows that you had that do work, but they're not like, Now, if you go to, some sporting goods store and want a bow and arrow thing, it's, and they have,
Cabela's.
the senior showangles where they really, there's serious bows and arrows
Compound
out there.
bows?
Yeah, the compound things. I mean,
Crossbows?
I've never done anything like that. But it'd be fun to have an old... I remember I bought you guys crossbows, and they all broke.
I told everybody that they all blew up in our hands and face the first time we did them.
Well, I didn't know. It was that catalog company, and I said, oh, my God, these little, like, half-size crossbows with, like dart arrow things on them. And I thought, man, this would be cool as hell. So I ordered like 5 of them and gave them to everybody, and they all freaking broke. Every stinking one of them broke. And I mentioned this on the radio, and a guy who's a big fan of that company, I forgot what company was it? Some knife and blade company, whatever, catalog thing. And so, and I've used them a lot before I bought. And I held the canes I got you for Christmas, I think, but the knives from that catalog.
The marine knife.
So a guy heard me complaining about the crossbows that didn't work, and he sent me a whole catalog. He said, no, please, don't. Anyway, so that was kind of weird, unfortunately.
Well, I told everybody about the incident with the crossbows, and Belinda said, wasn't he getting that from the back of a magazine which you can hire people to kill other people?
That's a whole other issue.
Assassins.
In fact, I'm listed as one of the contacts, so we don't want to mention a different name. It's a different name. Yeah. Nobody can prove anything. It's post office boxes and dead drops.
By the way, I am proudly flying my pride flag today.
Well, we are going to be talking
This is my pride flag.
Oh, your pride flag, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you not on YouTube, Pete Davis is now flying his pride flag. Prideful flag is the American flag, the Stars and Stripes.
That's right.
Old glory, and the new version. And by the way, now, and for the record, in fact, you're going to hear a young lady who has some comments about Target stores taking away their pride sections and putting up patriotic stuff. But you'll hear from that too. Also, just for fun, now as you know, we pride, gay thing is a whole different thing.
No, I had a good weekend too. Kim, don't worry about me.
No. Well, okay. Gee, Flounder, how are you and Mrs. Flounder?
Yard work.
What's new with you for the weekend there, Flounder?
Well, we had a very long weekend.
Oh, my goodness.
Saturday, I had to go. We went to my niece's dance recital in downtown, in Midtown, which I do not miss living down there one bit.
No, I can see that. There's still construction everywhere.
Everywhere, especially around tech.
It was a nightmare.
But the dance recital was a success. She did a great job, and then we went and had hamburgers with my nephew to celebrate his birthday.
Oh, wow.
And what did we do after that?
Two double whammies.
My next-door neighbors had a hot dog party.
Now, what is that, actually?
So
just cook on the grill? Or?
Their kids are like 4 and 1.
Oh, boy.
So they the neighborhood had like a little hot dog party, and then the kids that wanted to camp out in tent got to camp out in the front yard.
We did that as kids. We used to make tents. We bought a big tent, an actual camp-out tent thing. And my folks would let us sleep out in the tents in the summertime and stuff. Because my father would come out 3 or 4 times a night with a flashlight and make sure
on you.
What are you doing in there, kids?
That's pretty cool. Well, that sounds like a good weekend. 3:13. And I got hit on my chopper, but that, anyway. All right, 404-741-1230. 404.
Is that a tease? Are we going to talk about
somebody
that?
hit me on my chopper.
Or did you hit them?
No. I was on my chopper. Well, it's for that 3:13. We'll do that next. We'll talk about that next. And we got all the newsy stuff. Really, there's a million things. And I got hit on my freaking chopper. Sorry. The woman is alive. I held back. So anyway, coming up, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Happy Monday. How you doing? Braves back in town, I guess, too, right? Tonight?
Tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Braves Pride Day tomorrow too. I heard they're having Pride tickets for the Braves tomorrow. That's what I heard. Anyway, all right, Kim, Pete, and Flounder. Here we go. Stand by.
XTRA 106.3 has the biggest lineup of conservative voices all week, and we're loaded with live and local programming every weekend. The All 4 Seasons Home Show, Back Your Blue, Ben Burnett, Janelle King, and NASCAR on Sundays. See the full weekend lineup at XTRA1063.com and stream it free on the XTRA app.
Yes, it's true. Kim, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? 3:14. Good to have you on board. Father's Day, what's that, in a week? or 2 weeks. Father's Day coming. It's now June, and Atlanta Safe House has some great gift ideas for Father's Day for Dad. Now, Mom and Grammy and kids, if you want to put something together for Dad, especially if he's a new gun. Now, it doesn't have to be just for guns, although, gun safes, no sales tax on gun safes at Atlanta Safe House. That's the way they do business. And by the way, there's always rebates and sales going on. You're going to save hundreds and hundreds of dollars on these beautiful safes at Atlanta Safe House. And just in time for Father's Day, especially the pistol safes, holy cow. But it's not only that. If he's got stuff like treasures from the past for the family things and business records and, things like the Kimmer loss when I went down to Florida and I couldn't do things and the VA told me to stuff, whatever. Anyway, keeping your stuff safe. That's what they do. And by the way, Atlanta Safe House, they have almost 200 of them right there at their showroom in Ackworth, ready to go. They can rent you a safe. They can fix your safe. They can change your master reset code. These guys not only are huge fans of protecting your stuff, they also protect your rights. Nobody's getting your master reset codes. Forget that. Atlanta Safe House, they don't do business that way. All the great safe names, Browning, American Security, rebates, sales, everything going on. Put your stuff away and keep it safe. Financial records, contracts, mortgage things, medical records, learn from the Kimmer. On the web, atlantasafehouse.com.
Hey, it's Front Office Lowe's for True Prep. True Prep, Atlanta's preparedness superstore, is not only the go-to location for security and preparedness, it's also the hotspot for incredible savings. Visit True Prep's new deals page to discover hot sales and clearance items on firearms, prepping gear, and more. Then, check out the used and consignment page for top quality guns and gear at unbeatable prices. Both pages update automatically throughout the day as new products are added. So check back often to snag the best offers. Check them out now at trueprep.com. That's TRUprep.com.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes. After that transformation, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
Convenience is defined as the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty. Well, at RBM of Atlanta, we embody this philosophy. Meet our Mercedes-Benz pickup and delivery service. It gives you back time and money. Does your Mercedes-Benz need service? If so, we'll pick up your vehicle that's requiring service from your home or office and bring it back to our dealership for the required service. With over 100 appointments available every weekday, over 50 appointments on Saturdays, and more than 200 courtesy vehicles in our fleet, we're here to serve. We'll work around your schedule. We're here to save you time, energy, and money. RBM of Atlanta is a J.D. Power 2023 Diamond Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience and Georgia's only 9-time Mercedes-Benz Best of the Best winner. We're proud to be Atlanta's Mercedes-Benz connection since 1964. Pickup and delivery service restrictions do apply. Ask your service coordinator or service advisor for details.
Many dedicated first responders and service members like Austin Reese have paid a high price for the security and freedom we enjoy. Austin served 3 deployments in Iraq, spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit. He learned to skydive on the job, became a military free fall instructor. But in what he thought was a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. He hit the ground at 65 miles an hour. In that moment, everything changed. He lived, but Austin broke his pelvis, his ankle, he suffered spinal cord injury, and he is paralyzed. But thanks to the generosity of friends like you, Tunnel to Towers gave Austin a specially adapted smart home to enable him to rebuild his life after an unimaginable hardship. You helped Austin restore his dignity, independence, and hope for the future. And in doing so, you honored his service in the most meaningful of ways. Help heroes like Austin. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Hang on. There we go. Anyway. Yeah, Kimmer Peyton Flounder. 319. Happy Monday. It's freaking June. I can't believe it's June. This is Harry Styles. It was 3 years ago. This is the day Harry Styles said he's donating his appearance fee from Apple's AirPods spatial audio campaign to the International Rescue Committee, a global humanitarian aid group responding to the more than 6 million refugees being forced to flee Ukraine after the invasion by Russia. Okay, Ducky? Timber Pete and Flounder. Let's see. Our birthday. We have a couple of sports birthdays coming up later with Holy Crap at Sports. Got a lot of sports things to talk about too, Pete Davis, including freaking next Indiana Pacers game. We'll get to it in a second. First of all, birthday list. Marina Baccarin is 46. Vanessa in the Deadpool movies. I don't know those. Lee Tompkins on Gotham. Don't know that either. I don't remember her in that. But she was Jessica Brody on Homeland. The wife. Oh, God, is she beautiful.
Wait, her name's Baccarin, I think.
Is it that? I can't. I got to get.
She was also on Firefly. That's how we know her. Firefly.
Oh, no, see, I don't know Firefly. I don't know what that. I didn't see that.
They're bringing it back. It lasted 1 year. Then they made a movie. It was one of the great science fictions of all time. Yeah,
Firefly.
The guy who played the rookie. What's his name? The actor.
Oh,
gosh, he was in where he was a writer and solving murders with the cops.
Oh,
I forget his name. Yeah, he's in it.
I'll be darned. Yeah, Jessica Brody on Homeland. Beautiful, beautiful. She was cheating on him, and then, well, she wasn't cheating. She thought he was dead, but she was cheating on him when she did. Anyway, whatever. Marina, what her name is, 46 years old today. Baccarin. And on this day in history, it was 1886. President Grover Cleveland is the first sitting president to get married in the White House. He entered as a bachelor, left a married man, and father of 2. His new wife was a young woman, 27 years his junior, named Frances Folsom, the daughter of a former law partner and his legal ward.
Yeah.
Now, this is a weird story. Grover Cleveland has known this girl since she was born. When she was 11, Frances's father died, and Cleveland became her legal guardian, ladies and gentlemen. Sound like Woody Allen? Remaining close friends with her mother. Grover Cleveland's pet name for the little girl was Frank, because her name was Frances. Observers thought Cleveland would marry his friend's widow and were completely surprised when instead he married Frances as soon as she turned 21. In another White House first, Frances and Cleveland's second daughter, Esther, became the first child to be living in the White House. Now, hold on. We got, let's see. At 21 years old, she was the youngest U.S. First Lady. Cleveland was 49. The second U.S. president to wed while in office, the only president married in the White House. The first child was Ruth Cleveland, born between his terms, instant media sensation known as Baby Ruth. In 1921, 17 years after she died, the Curtis Candy Company renamed their candy cake bar Baby Ruth Bar in honor of her. Coincidentally, the famous baseball player Babe Ruth hit 54 home runs the year before and had been the home run leader since 1918. If they had named it Babe Ruth, they probably would have had to pay him some money. Anyway, that's where the Baby Ruth came from.
Imagine doing that now if a president did that.
She was his guy. He was her guardian. She was 11. He knew her when she was a baby born. And they thought he was going to marry her mother, the widow. Oh, man. All right, 323. All right, now, here's what happened. I ride my... And by the way, thank you to the million people who chipped in to have my chopper. I wasn't going to have it repaired. It was too much money, and I was going to junk it for parts. But people put my chopper back together, and Kevin, my Delta pilot, and Jennifer, all you people helped so much. I can't thank you enough. So it's all working. It's beautiful. I love it. Steve Studstill, who did chopper mechanic, Ace, Harley mechanic, who put it back together. Anyway, so I had a great rides this weekend. Just love it. I'm just having so much fun. It's, go out for an hour and just it's heaven. I can't thank you enough for making my life feel better. I mean, really, truly. And so I'm going on Alpharetta, Main Street, Alpharetta, going up north in the northern Fulton County area, whatever. And I'm coming to a stoplight, and I'm sitting at the stoplight. And behind me, there's traffic coming up on left side, right side. I'm right-hand lane. There's people coming up, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I hear a clump. I get hit from behind. Luckily, my chopper does not have a long rear fender, because if it had been a long rear fender, it was a woman in a white Mercedes square station wagon thing, whatever they call them. And if it had been a long fender, she would have cracked my fender and the taillight and everything else. As it turned out, she just hit the tire. It's a great big fat tire in the back on my chopper, and her bumper hit my rear tire and pushed me forward. clunked me like this. So I'm turning around and I start screaming and yelling. And then I said, wait a minute. So I put down the kickstand. I mean, I wasn't hurt. I mean, I knew that, but I was pretty sure nothing happened. my neck, my back. Oh my God. My spleen. I got a spleen thinger. Anyway, so I put down the kickstand and I hopped off that freaking chopper. And man, I came back like I was going to kill whoever the hell was in that freaking car. And this lady, she rolls down the window. She starts saying, oh, I'm so sorry. I was having a thing. I said, I don't know what you're thinking about. And I'm sorry, you're dirty. So I came and got to look at my chopper. She got out of the car. And I was ready to strangle her. But she was very contrite. She was almost hysterical in saying how sorry she was out there and everything else. But the fact of the matter is, I bought my first motorcycle in 1965 in college. Spring of 1965, my freshman year in college, I bought a 250cc Zundap motorcycle for $75 from a fraternity guy. But I lied to my parents about needing money for the prom for my girlfriend. Well, and so I bought a motorcycle instead for this cheap old thing. I've had a motorcycle for 60 years. I've never been hit. I've come close where people turn out in front of me and almost a couple. I've never been hit or touched on a motorcycle until yesterday on my chopper. And thank God it was, she just bumped into me. She just didn't stop. She stopped and then she just kept going, took her foot off the brake or whatever, and plunk. Anyway, so it's all good. But again, it's dangerous.
Flounder, who had the over-under about how many days before he'd wreck that?
It's gone pretty long,
I know. A chopper's not a motorcycle. A chopper is way different to ride than your stand-up straight on sitting like on a chair motorcycle. A chopper with your legs on, it's just a different thing. So it's, but again, I bless you all for helping. And everything's good. But again, 60 freaking years, and this is the first time I've actually had physical contact. Somebody hit me on that chopper. And thank God it didn't go flying. And it wasn't, she wasn't going 30. I would have seen that. And again, you learn in motorcycle safety class, if you ever take those classes, when you're at a stoplight or a stop sign, you're looking behind you. Which I was, but again, it was just, a car pulling up behind me at the stoplight, which I didn't think anything of it. And then all of a sudden, bam, so it wasn't like, she wasn't going 30 miles an hour and swerved into my lane. So anyway, all right, sorry, 327. Okay. We got the Colorado fire bomber guy. And by the way, how come nobody had a gun? In broad daylight, this guy's setting people on fire with homemade flame torches, and nobody in Boulder, Colorado, in that area, in that mall area, in the public event thing, nobody had a gun. Well, it's Colorado.
I bet you can't. You've been to Boulder. It's one of the most liberal places.
Right. Exactly.
In fact, I have that is an Art Deco city hall. It's beautiful. Yeah. I've stood there and taken pictures of that place.
Oh, God.
And for him to do that there is just...
But again, that's the reason. And by the way, this it goes to perfectly understand this, because even the police chief denied it was a terrorist attack against, a Jew-hating Democrat by this guy. This individual, possibly an American, was upset about saying, you got to be kidding me. The police chief is downplaying the whole thing. My God. And finally, Patek, what's his name?
Kash Patel.
Kash Patel had to come out and said, no, you idiot, it's freaking terrorism. What do you think it is? He was saying, I hate the Jews. I want you all to die. That's a pretty good indication for another Democrat. Anyway.
And then CNN attacked Kash Patel, not the Islamist. They went after Patel.
Yeah. Claiming he's trying to inflame,
well, they called him a white man. He was a white man.
An individual white fellow. Unidentified white man. Oh, man. I mean, they're still doing it.
Liars.
And again, I'm going to try to calm down here. If you are Jewish, try to seriously ask yourself, talk with your friends, how is it possible that you keep voting for Democrats? They don't support what you believe. They don't support your history.
They want you dead.
Well, they don't care. I mean, I think it's even worse than that, because they're not willing to take a stand to say, wait a minute, this has got to stop. Every Democrat in leadership role, who are they? They aren't any. But if there were Democrats in leadership roles in America today, they would be screaming about this.
I disagree. They're taking a stand. They're taking a stand to kill them all.
No, I'm saying
for genocide. They're siding with the barbarians.
I'm telling you the reason is why no longer have American Democrats. If there were American Democrats today, they would all be screaming to stop. Hell, the Lurch from Pennsylvania is the only one saying, wait a minute, this is really wrong, you people. And he's even condemning the colleges who will allow this to happen. That's one Fetterman, one guy. The rest of them are silent. How could an American politician be silent about a tax like this and not take responsibility for inflaming it all by allowing it to happen? Oh, my God.
The Boulder mayor helped
that's right.
put out this.
That's right, yeah. It's just outrageous. And it's in America today, broad daylight.
This woman survived Hitler, survived the Holocaust, and comes here and gets burned alive by a crazy Islamist on American soil.
Flamethrowers by a guy. And then he's walking around with his shirt up, big flabby scumbag. How come nobody could get behind him and give him the old Kimmer death hold? He would have been dead. I guarantee you, I would have been in the back of that building and attacked him from the rear. There's no way. If people had attacked him, there's no way he could have set everybody on fire. Attack. Take your just throw your shoes at him, take your belt off, and start swinging the buckle end of your belt, whatever you have to do. And if you got 8 or 9 guys together, I guarantee you they could have subdued that guy and broken his freaking neck. Anyway, it's just outrageous. Walking around, walking around screaming and yelling with his canisters in his hand.
And Biden let him in.
Yeah,
he was let
twice.
In. He overstayed, and not only did they not kick him out, they gave him a work permit.
Yeah. In 2005, he was denied a visa to enter the country. Law enforcement said he tried again in 2022. Let's see. He arrived a non-immigrant visa, allowed to stay through 2023, outstayed the visa, and then even so, he was cleared for work authorization by the immigration people. And Biden administration, here's what Stephen Miller wrote. He was granted a tourist visa by the Biden administration, then he illegally overstayed that visa. In response, the Biden administration gave him a work permit. Suicidal immigration must be fully reversed. I mean, they did anything to let people into this country so they would become Democrats. Millions of them.
And he's one.
And this is one of them. That's right. This is exactly what you get, too. God, 3:32. Sorry, boys. Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. How's it going? It's Monday. We're giving away Metallica tickets. Metallica at 4:30. Singing for your tickets. This ought to be rich. Look out.
Need more than just headlines on your ride to work? It's the Morning Extra, live from 6 to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, only on XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Boys, it's planting season, and if you're a contractor or builder or you're putting in somebody's lawn or patio stuff, Stovall and Company, your third-generation landscaping wholesaler supply store. These guys, Paul and the Sons, have taken over they have 11 locations. I'll open up the 11th location in Canton, and these are the people, not only, if you want it delivered, it'll be there before you probably hang up the phone. Well, it kind of seems like that. Personalized service and sod and trees and flowers and plants and irrigation systems, the whole deal. And if they can find something better for you someplace else, they'll tell you where to get it. You'll love these people. Look them up, StovallInc.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Hey,
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, Trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is next weekend, June 13th through 15th, only at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling, and while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery. It's next weekend, June 13th through 15th. Learn more at dgeller.com.
This is Bruce Hagen. The law in Georgia has changed, and it's going to be harder than ever to get fair treatment on your personal injury claim. If you have been injured through no fault of your own, call me. You need a real lawyer, and that's who we are. We're not some TV and billboard lawyers who don't even know how to get to the courthouse. I've been a Georgia super lawyer for 20 consecutive years, and that's because I try cases and I win cases. We get results for our clients, and we can get results for you. Hagen-law.com.
The older I get, the more I think about trust. I think about the people in my life who have my trust and earned my trust. And the trust that I have placed in some people who I later learned abused that trust. I know we're alike in that way. We don't trust a lot of people anymore. It's like we're all Ronald Reagan, trust but always verify to make sure we're not making a mistake. I find it a little exhausting, quite honestly, and that's why I started realestateagentsitrust.com. I didn't have good experiences with buying and selling my homes, so we built Real Estate Agents I Trust to introduce you to one of the thousands of agents all over the country that we work with, that we have verified that they will help you have the most successful and good real estate transaction possible. Our network agents share our sensibilities, have great track records, are good and decent people, and I trust them to help you with your real estate needs. So whether you're moving across town or across the country, visit realestateagentsitrust.com. The name says it all, realestateagentsitrust.com.
The only thing better than covering all these Trump wins is watching the left implode over it.
Donald Trump, he's entertaining the world while he's changing the whole freaking planet.
XTRA 106.3 is committed to bring you the news you care about most. From Atlanta legends and conservative voices you've relied on for a generation. Proud to be Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station. XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
Yeah. There we go. Look at it. It changed it, baby. 338, Kimmer Pete and Flounder and David Bowie. 2016, this was the day. The limited edition vinyl pressing of the David Bowie album Changes One Bowie was #1 in Britain, the official vinyl album chart. Bowie had 4 other vinyl albums there. Black Star #14, Hunky Dory 17, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars 18, and Nothing Has Changed, the very best of David Bowie at 23. Sales of vinyl records were up 30% to $400 million. This was in 2016, the highest level since 1988. Vinyl records, of course, you have to have a good turntable and set like that, and the stylus, and I mean those, diamond needles, and I remember my dad, my father had a musical setup in his office upstairs in our 3-story, 100-year-old colonial home with a family of 7, and he had a music. Oh lordy! Of course, he was an electrical engineer, but he had turntables with you just click like that, and I mean, it's unbelievable. If you've never even seen an old-fashioned, really big-time Charlie turntable setup work, it's astounding. And I remember my grandmother Peterson and Grandpa Peterson used to have one of those old Victrolas that would hand crank. Have you ever seen one of those? Let alone you. We used to use, when I was a kid, we'd go to visit the farm where I saw my first Percheron horse and wanted to ride my first big Percheron horse. And my grandfather said, "Go ahead. If you can get on him, you can take him out." And they had an old-fashioned winding. You wind up while you're listening to the record. To make it spin around, you could wind up the damn gramophone. Oh, my God. They had one of those stereopticals, whatever they call them, those little slide things where you put the pictures up and then you put it zero with an optical. Oh, my Lord. I got distracted. Sorry. I'm distracted my whole life. I realize I'm distracted my whole life. It's just weird. This is the strangest freaking system, especially the last couple of years. I don't know what happened, but something weird's going on here. Anyway, so that's all good. Now, birthdays. Dana Carvey. He's turned into kind of a hater, isn't he, about America? But I've always liked his stuff. Dana Carvey is 70. Saturday Night Live guy, Garth in Wayne's World, the church lady, Hans of Hans and Franz, we got to bump you up. Very amusing guy, and movie and everything. I mean, he's 7 years old, but isn't he like a really bad Trump hater these days? Didn't I see? Not really.
He just makes fun of everybody. I think.
That's fine. I mean, I like his stuff. I don't know much about him.
Him and David Spade do a podcast. Yeah.
Oh, they do. Well, and David Spade's another guy. He with the big fat guy, Chris Farley movies were funny movies. Yes, a very, very clever guy. And also, on this day in history, it was 1954. Senator Joseph McCarthy says communists have infiltrated the Central Intelligence Agency and the atomic weapons industry. Yep. They said, now, come on now, Senator. He made a name for himself saying there were known communists in the State Department in 1950. He said communists were in every branch. Accusations came to be called the Red Scare. And Americans thought communists, this was after World War II, a few years after that, everybody said we're nervous about everything, so you can see where that would be legit, where the people were afraid what's going on. He couldn't find any actual communists. By 1954, his power was slipping. Harry Truman was president, and Republicans wanted McCarthy as a useful weapon. But when Dwight Eisenhower got elected in 1953, his accusations became kind of an embarrassment for the GOP. He said communists were in the CIA, the atomic weapons industry. No one took him seriously. John Foster Dulles, the Secretary of State, and his brother, the CIA Director Allen Dulles, and President Eisenhower all said you're an idiot with no basis. McCarthy was disgraced when the lawyer for the Army, Joseph Welsh, gave him a devastating, effective tongue lashing, which ended with Welsh asking the senator, once and for all, have you, sir, no sense of decency? The hearings collapsed right after that. The Senate voted to censure McCarthy. He died in office in 1957. So there you go. Anyway, the Red Scare. 404-741-1230. 404-741-1230. We got more heavy type stuff. By the way, what the Ukrainians did, pull it off that rail by the Pearl Harbor against Russia. Oh, man, coming up in a second. First of all, I love, happy stories and stories that make it feel good about, especially when it involves youngsters doing the right thing, even though it could hurt them a lot. A teenager in California, 15-year-old boy, saw 2 puppies, the family dogs, that had fallen into an abandoned mine shaft. This was Saturday night. So the determined teenager climbed down the shaft to try to rescue him and then couldn't get back out. So the beloved pups are down there in the mine shaft. They had fallen in themselves, couldn't tell how badly they were hurt. Their teenager went down there to get them, and he couldn't get back up. Luckily, somebody called the rescue workers, the fire department, and the agencies leapt into action. The dangerous terrain, again, this is an abandoned mine shaft. It was deep and steep and dangerous. They wanted to execute what they call a vertical rope rescue with riggings and carabiners, I guess it is a rigging thing, nylon ropes. It took them an hour. The teenager and both dogs successfully brought to the surface. Nobody terribly hurt. The family pets lifted out of the well with an elaborate contraption of ropes and pulleys and harnesses, dropped safely to the ground. They worked on getting the worker said, good speed, good speed. The dog came out wagging its tail. I'm so happy. Paramedics were going crazy. Grateful for the quick thinking. And again, it's just a great story. That teenager went down there to get those pups, and son of a gun, he got trapped, and they all got him out, and everybody's fine. So I just wanted to have a happy news story here. And just very quickly, I'm loving this, and again, it's going to change everything. The Operation Spiderweb, Ukraine attacked Russian air bases and their nuclear fleet by hiding their explosive-laden drones in wooden sheds. They put the drones inside the roofs of the sheds, loaded onto trucks, driven to the perimeter of all those air bases where the planes are the ones that carry nuclear weapons. The roof panels were then lifted off by a remotely activated device, so 117 drones used in the strikes could fly out of the sheds when the pops off the top and enact their devastating attack. The roofs of the houses were remotely open. The drones flew to hit the Russian bombers. They got like 35% of the entire bomber fleet with the nuclear payloads. Wiped out in 5 different air bases, cost $7 billion in damages. They called it Russia's Pearl Harbor. The longest range operation to date. And of course, the White House says, we didn't know anything about this. Don't be blaming us for this kind of stuff. But it leads to the question, from now on, if you have a military and you have planes or battleships or, munitions over sitting in an area and that's where they're parked, all it takes now is some very creative people with drones and AI and activation, remote control stuff, detonated things, and all of a sudden, the roofs lift off of sheds and out come a couple of 100,000 drones to attack you. Nothing's safe. It's over. Think about it.
Ships on the sea, hypersonic missiles and drones are vulnerable. Yeah. They've got those machines that can try and shoot them all down.
Well, not if there are 10,000 of them. And they could be teeny. Oh man! And that China's working on them. We know that.
They have a plane that can fly over the U.S. with hundreds of them in the plane.
And just release them. Yeah. A little tiny bomb things. You know how much damage, what they can do?
No, they're not little. Yeah. They're big.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, they are. Yeah, they're all, but again, even, you can't, what are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do?
The Gold Dome.
But not if you're flying inside the Golden Dome, it wouldn't know any difference. If you have drones released 200 feet in the air over a ship, the Golden Dome's not going to do anything. You got under the dome.
We all have a dome.
Yeah, well, anyway, we need our own dome. I want my own dome. I want my flying suit, and I want my own dome. There you go. All right, 347. Give her feet and flounder. I don't think that's going to happen either. As soon as I get me a girlfriend. Oh, sorry.
Kimmer Show is live until 6 p.m. and Extra 106.3 has the rest of your night covered with Jesse Kelly up next. Fox Across America with Jimmy Fela at 9 p.m. and The Guy Benson Show at midnight. All live on Extra 106.3 and the Extra app.
A lot of us have a 401k, but many of us don't know what we should do with them as we get closer to retirement. I'm here with Evan Ward of Atlas Retirement. And Evan, what would you personally recommend?
Well, Kevin, what we recommend is when you separate service from your employer or when you turn 59 and a half, you need to look at what your options can be, because within a 401k, you're getting payroll deduction, you're getting a handful of different options, but it's very limited because a 401k is a one-size-fits-all for everybody in your company. Well, what we do when we have options to go outside the 401k, even while you're still employed, you can continue to contribute, but you can move those into different and better options than what you have within your 401k. And so we want to be able to run our 401k x-ray, be able to show you exactly what it is you are doing within your portfolio, and then see what your options are outside of that to improve your circumstance.
Because, Evan, let's be honest, retirement, this is not a one-size-fits-all answer, right? These are individual, personalized plans you're going to put together. Everybody's situation is going to be different, right?
Of course. And so, the 401k gives you a limited set of options because that is what has to be available to the client. But outside of your 401k, you have thousands of options that are often a lot more custom and tailor-made to your personal needs.
If you'd like more details, pick up the phone and call Evan Ward today and the team at Atlas Retirement. They are standing by to answer your questions. 678-736-7799. 678-736-7799. Pick up that complimentary 401k x-ray, or you can get more details online today. It's atlasretirement.net. That's atlasretirement.net. Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law, don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com.
You upgrade your phone, you upgrade your wardrobe, even your lawn. So why not upgrade the part of your home that actually protects your family? Southern Exteriors specializes in roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and they're making it easier than ever before with 10% off any job or 12 months of 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug, and I know the folks at Southern Exteriors. They show up, they do it right, and they stand behind their work. Call them today, 877-9-SOUTHERN, or visit southernexteriors.co.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
It's time to slide into summer at Truist Park as the Arizona Diamondbacks face the Braves, June 3rd through the 5th. And May and the 8 deals are extended through this series as well. That means $10 tickets and parking, $1.99 hot dogs, and $3.99 Miller High Life. Grab your crew and head to Truist Park to make the most of your summer. Find all the details for the month of June and purchase your tickets at Braves.com/summer. Atlanta Braves baseball. We are Braves country.
I got it now. To fade away, baby. Oh, but hold on. Kimmer joining Ellis Otha Bates today. All right, I got it now. 2008 American guitar picker and singer Ellis Otha Bates, otherwise known as Bo Diddley, died of heart failure at his home in Florida. He was only 79. God, so young. It's like a baby. Oh, sorry. Bo Diddley, known for his homemade square guitar and his shave and haircut, 2 bits. Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. That was his rhythm. Influenced artists from Buddy Holly to Bruce Cheatstain and the Rolling Stones and U2. Bo Diddley died as a youngster, only 79. Wow. Yeah. By the way, you guys, have you ever heard of the actress's name Awkwafina? Spelled A-W-K-Wafina. Awkwafina, as opposed to the water, Awkwafina. And again, I say this, I've never heard of her, but she's on every birthday list I looked up this morning at 5:45. Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I've never heard of her. Awkwafina, A-W-K-W-A-Fina. Awkwafina is 37. She is Katie in Shanghai and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi or Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi, I'm sorry, Shang-Chi.
Which they totally murdered from the comic book, by the way.
Well, I wouldn't even know. What's the comic book? The thing of the
comic book,
rings?
where the comic book, he was actually the Chinese guy was the son of Fu Manchu, and he was a British MI6 operative. Well, they couldn't do that. Now you can't have a Chinese guy be the great villain anymore.
Well,
so, so they made a fake Chinese villain, and
no, that's not good. She's Katie Aquafina, 37. Katie and Shang-Chi in The Legend of the Ten Rings. Rachel's best friend, Peek Lin in Crazy Rich Asians, Ming Fleetfoot in Jumanji: The Next Level, and the voice of Scuttle in the live-action Little Mermaid movies. Aquafina, 37 years old today. And hold on a second here. And on this day, Daisy, don't do that to me, you idiot. On this day in 1924, Congress passage of the Indian Citizenship Act. The government of the United States confers citizenship on all Native Americans born within the territorial limits of the United States. Before this, again, this is 1924. Before the Civil War, citizenship was often limited to Native Americans of 1/2 or less Indian blood. During Reconstruction, Republicans in Congress wanted to accelerate the granting of citizenship to friendly tribes. State support was limited. 1888, Native American women married to American citizens were conferred citizens. In 1919, Native American veterans of World War I were offered citizenship. That was 1919. 1924, the Indian Citizenship Act was all-inclusive, passed by Congress. However, a lot of states still had the privileges of citizenship governed by state law, so a lot of states in the early 1900s still did not allow Indians to vote. But again, and by the way, I'm still really amazed that we don't have any Indian modern heroes. I mean, there's been like 2 guys served in Congress. One of them was, Medal of Honor recipient, and I mean, there have been some, Native American Indian heroes, but we don't have. There are no leaders from, you would think, of the history of the tribes of America. Really?
Football and baseball players, Jim Thorpe.
No, but I'm talking about political leaders. I mean, I'm surprised we don't have political leaders.
What are you talking about, Elizabeth Warren?
Well, there you go. I stand corrected. I stand corrected. 356. Kimber P. Flounder. By the way, 3 o'clock hour brought to you by our friends at First Liberty Building and Loan. We say yes when the big banks say no. FirstLibertyGA.com here with the Kimber P. Flounder. Okay, doke. Here we go. I love that. I'm getting to really like this guy, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. Every time he shows up on TV, he's got this smirk on his face because he knows he's a lot smarter than those idiots trying to ask him a question and trying to stump him somehow. He gets the last laugh on CBS. That idiot Margaret Brennan, God, how many times does she have to show how stupid she is and how biased she is? So Face the Nation, we're going to play a Besson here, Flounder. Face the Nation, Margaret Brennan once again tried this months before as saying, the tariffs and Donald Trump are going to threat to American wallets. Months earlier, she told economists were forecasting prices to go skyrocketing. Inflation is going to be horrible. And Besson gleefully batted away the concerns. Donald Besson with the Margaret Brennan. Flounder.
We wanted to make sure that there aren't price increases, Margaret, and thus far there have been no price increases. Everything has been alarmist. The inflation numbers are actually dropping. We saw the first drop of inflation in 4 years. The inflation numbers last week were very pro-consumer.
Right. But you listen to earnings calls just like we do. Mm-hmm. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producers.
The reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both.
When we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen?
Margaret, you ignorant slut. By the way, he says the United States of America is never going to default. That is never going to happen. We are on the warning track, and we will never hit the wall. But leave it to her to go nuts. Flounder's fun. He's 358. What do you got there? Here's a little something right here for you.
I went home during the pandemic, but I had to leave because my mom's boyfriend moved in.
Uh-oh.
and he keeps trying to be my friend. And we love Terry, but pick a lane, you know? He's always like, hey, let's be friends. What can I do to be your friend? Well, you could stop having sex with my mom. I don't ask much from my friends, Terry. I might have to draw the line. It's not a quality I'm looking for. Glad you're doing it. Glad you're banging my mom, but we don't need a kayak. You know? Why would I, a guy who has friends that don't bang my mom, take on you, someone who does indeed? Logistically, maybe it makes sense. You know, it's funny, I did go kayaking with Terry. That's my guy. I love Terry. I sat my mom down. I was like, what are your intentions with my friend Terry? It's cool that you're dating my friend. I'm glad you make him happy, but if you hurt him...
To his mother. Oh, Lordy. Hey, don't forget, 4:30. We want you to sing for Metallica tickets. 4:30 with Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230. That's coming up in a half an hour. Almost 4 o'clock. We still have Peach Streets. We have Holdcraft at Sports. And a lot of sports stuff. And it's all coming up, including Pride Day at the Braves game tomorrow, I guess. A special ticket package. Okie dokie. It's coming up Pride Month here. It's June, baby. Look out.
WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. This hour is presented by Atlanta Safe House.
More charges are coming. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The man accused of attacking a pro-Israel group in Colorado with homemade firebombs yesterday is facing multiple state charges, already charged with a hate crime in a federal complaint.
Authorities say of the suspect, quote, he stated that he wanted to kill all Zionist people and wished they were all dead. He specifically targeted the Zionist group that had gathered in Boulder, having learned about the group from an online search. The victims who make up this group were demonstrating on this pedestrian mall peacefully, like they do every week, to remind the world that there are still hostages being held by Hamas in Gaza.
Fox's Alicia Acuna in Boulder. 8 people were injured. President Trump blaming his predecessor's immigration policies.
Sunday's horrific attack in Boulder, Colorado will not be tolerated in the United States, President Trump writes in a social media post. The president says the suspect came through former President Biden's ridiculous open border policy and calls it another example of why we must keep our borders secure and deport illegal anti-American radicals. The suspected attacker is identified as Mohammed Sabri Soliman. Fox News has learned Soliman is an Egyptian national who overstayed a visa to the U.S. in 2023.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President Trump and China's President Xi could have a call this week on trade issues after the countries accused each other of violating a recent deal that led to a tariff pause.
The Treasury Secretary says that China has slow-walked exporting some rare earth minerals, angering this administration. The Chinese Communist Party wants President Trump to lift export controls on the highest of technology, from everything from the most advanced artificial intelligence chips to planes and aerospace technology.
Fox Business's Edward Lawrence. Sources also telling him the U.S. trade team sent a letter to multiple countries asking for trade offers by this Wednesday. A strong finish to start June. The Dow up 35 at the bell. America's listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Birthday list includes Ron Ely. Do you know who that is, Flounder?
I do not.
Ron Ely. I'll bet Pete does. Ron Ely was TV Tarzan for several years. He's 87 years old. Holy smoke.
No, Ron Ely died.
Oh, he's
Doc Savage, too, by the way.
Oh, my. Well, I've seen my birthday list is a little bizarre. Sorry about that.
A while back.
I'm so bad at that. On this day in 1899, Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch Gang, which included the Sundance Kid, commit their first train robbery. 1899 on this day. They stole about $60,000 in 1899. It'd be about $2 million today. The robbers were gang members Cassidy, Sundance, Harvey Logan, and Elsie Lay. Butch Cassidy and his gang, the bad boys there, what do you call it? And by the way, I did mention that I saw a little thing popped up on my thing that the Braves tomorrow with the Arizona Diamondbacks at 7:15 is a Pride ticket package day for Gay Pride Month. When you buy the specialty ticket, you get a game ticket, access to the pregame party at the Coca-Cola Roxy, a Braves Pride T-shirt, and $4 of every ticket goes to back the Out Georgia Impact Fund, powered by the United Way. Capacity limited based on availability for Pride game tomorrow with the Braves. Okay, then. And by the way, for the record, those of us in broadcasting, well, when Pride Month comes along, there's obviously, we're going to do some jokes and teasing stuff on Pride Month, and because it is kind of an issue. In fact, we're going to hear from a young lady here in a second there, Flounder, on the radio about this business. But
it's funny. I did a segment, Rob Schneider, I did a funny bit, and he talks about it, how Veterans Day gets a day.
Yeah.
But,
Gay
Pride
people get a whole month, baby.
Pride gets a whole month. Black History Month gets a whole month.
Here's your Pride Month right here.
We got Pride's America flag. Well, anyway, but those of us in the business have, over the years, hundreds of gay friends. I mean, it's not, gay means nothing to us. The tranny thing is an issue politically that, it's been, destructive.
They're not gay.
Yeah, that's not got nothing to do with gay. That's nothing to do with gay. And molesting has nothing to do with gay. I mean, gay's gay, and that's the thing.
Freaks.
Yeah, it's silly. But there are some, in fact, I found a couple of gay pride jokes, which I thought were extremely, I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Pete? I think before I interrupted you.
I was going to say that the great photo should win a Pulitzer is the crazy Islamist was shirtless holding two Molotov cocktails in front of the Boulder City Council, that beautiful building. Yeah. And behind him to the right is the gay pride
flag. Yep.
Does that sum up America right now?
There you go. The Jew hater Democrats. And here we here we go. Well, one of my favorite memes about this is a picture of a sweet little girl. In the background, it says, "One time this guy bullied me for being lesbian, so I stole his girlfriend." Which I think is very amusing. What do you call a pride pool party? Alphabet soup. Well, no, wait. How many letters you got? I keep seeing all these LGBTQ pride signs everywhere. I ask people what they mean, but can never get a straight answer. Sorry. Anyway, so it's Gay Pride Month, so there you go. Have a freaking ball. And Gay Pride game tomorrow for the Braves. So, all right. I didn't know that was the thing here, but that's good. Whatever. I have no, go Braves.
I may be down there tomorrow. You think, well,
really?
You know what? We should wander over there.
Oh, that'd be great. And we could dress up, we could do different costumes, like a cosplay kind of a thing or something.
No, just be yourself. Dress like you always do.
That same thing. I'll look like a, Undertaker or a work at Stovall Nursery Supply.
Don't
I love it. I fed right in up there. Those guys don't have to put me to work any guarantee. I look like I already worked there, moving plants and stuff. 408. In fact, let's do that. Let's get that girl here, Flounder. I got to find my thing here. Hold on a sec. Here we go. This guy, I don't know who this girl is really, but this girl lives in TikTok. Has got some stuff going on. And now on social media, they're talking about Pride Month and so forth. And there's a woman on social media who is very, very upset that her Target store has replaced the Pride section, and she is upset about them apparently going way too patriotic. Flounder, if you would, this woman on social media about Pride Month and Target stores.
Happy Pride Month. In my Target that used to have the Pride section, it's now all USA.
Yay. It's an American summer. Except for tourism, because tourism's down because no one wants to come here. USA, woo! And honestly, my dad served in the military, and I'd love to be really proud of this nation, but it's hard to be proud of it under Donald Trump. But hey, while you're here, pick up a USA bikini. Why not?
Wow. I think I'll go get my wife one tomorrow, actually.
Honestly...
Why do they all look the same? With the bug eyes, the crazy, you can see all their pupil, and they got crazy mouth. They all look the same.
And again, I don't really, most of us, it's like the N-word. I don't know anybody uses the N-word. We don't use the N-word. The N-word's not a thing. It becomes a thing when people make a thing out of it, but it's not a thing. Stop making it a thing. Just, it's like this whole business of gay shouldn't be a thing these days. The reason this is all things because of trannies. Because the whole world now is all of a sudden there's a different angle. It has nothing to do with being gay, but that's what led, I think, to this increased, belligerence.
Well, this is a woman who grew up in a military household who hates America. That's how stupid liberal she is, this white woman, and goes and thinks, I can get, looks. I can go on TikTok and be famous, and everybody will love me because I'm doing this anti-American BS. Okay, sit your ass over in Palestine. You love this like Greta Thunberg. Go there and see what happens to you.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Flounder, you got a little something here going on?
Yeah, Martin's on the horn. He wanted to comment on this lady from Target.
Excellent. Martin, welcome aboard. Welcome. Happy Monday, sir. What's up?
Sam, happy Monday to you.
Yes, sir.
This whinge bag whining about America. I can only think of one thing. I would propose that she go and reproduce herself.
What? That's certainly one way of putting it.
I don't know. You're not having to use the sneeze button, for God's sake.
No, it's sorry. Thank you, Martin. Always a pleasure, my friend. 411, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. And by the way, it's not only the gay pride thing. Holy cow, we got a whole new thing with it. Speaking of the trannies, I got 3 in a row right here, and I'll do them fast because this is just ridiculous. Hello. Milford, Massachusetts, 18-year-old high school student. First, we're going to get to this. This is a breaking news, which apparently has not been fully covered, but we'll give you the update on the kid pulled over and detained by ICE. Massachusetts, and we got 3 stories on trannies all right in a row. Massachusetts, Milford, Mass, 18-year-old high school student driving along with his buddies in the car on the way to volleyball practice. 3 unmarked cars pull up. ICE agents pull out and knock on the window and say, you got some ID there, do you, buddy? The reason they pulled over 18-year-old Marcelo Gomes was not because it was 18-year-old Marcelo Gomes. They pulled over the car. The car was known as a car owned by an illegal criminal wanted by the law and wanted by ICE. So when I saw the car that was owned by a guy who should be thrown out of the country, they pulled it over. Turns out he wasn't driving. It was his son driving. But his son is also 18 years old and is illegally here in America. He came here as a child, which is really a shame, but he's illegal. He does not have documents. He's undocumented. There was another kid undocumented who was underage, so they let him go. But the 18-year-old was taken into custody. And the other guys are crying and go, I can't believe it. He's a great kid. He hadn't done anything. Well, no, he didn't do anything except the fact that his father was a criminal in the country illegally. And when the car got pulled over, the father wasn't there, but the kid was, and he's 18. So, it's not our fault. It's not our fault, and it's a damn shame, and it's horrible and terrible for the family, and he's deporting and breaking up. Too bad. Too bad. Let this be a lesson. My God, how many things still have to happen before we say, this is wrong, it never should have happened, but it's not our fault. It's your fault. And you've had all these years to make it right? He came here 13 years ago, and you couldn't go out of your way to make sure that things weren't taken care of? Come on, man. And now they're all saying, he didn't do anything. Well, this old man was a criminal who should have been thrown out of the country, so they pulled over his car. So you talk to your old man. And again, it's a horrible shame. I feel terrible for him. It's horrible. His kids, his family, his friends, back to, El Salvador or someplace. Tough luck. Life's a bitch.
El Salvador's nice right now.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful with children. Your place to raise children. 14 minutes. We're going to do singing for Metallica tickets at 4:30. Kim Repeat Flounder. This ought to be rich.
Time for the Bortz Report, brought to you by Southern Exteriors, the Southeast premier home exterior solution. Quality and precision you can rely on for over 20 years. Visit southernexteriors.co.
Well, this commentary isn't going to make me a lot of friends, but make no mistake, I really love Atlanta. It gave me a career, a great one, and a wonderful wife, and a precious daughter. If I didn't love Atlanta, I wouldn't be as upset as I am over these headlines I see day after day after day in the newspaper and on TV. Examples from just a few days. Fulton elementary teacher shot, killed after party. 2 bystanders shot during business dispute in DeKalb. Police say rideshare driver shot passenger in Midtown. Massive teen brawl in Paulding County leaves 1 injured, 1 arrested. Gun pulled out during fight at Newton County Walmart. Georgia Tech student dies after being shot in the head at off-campus apartment. Gunfire sends McDonald's diners ducking after wild shootout in DeKalb. 4 teens shot in Snellville Park. The park I used to fly hot air balloons out of, by the way. 5 minors injured in shooting at Gwinnett County Park. McDonald's drive-thru blocked off after car shot up in DeKalb County. Man found shot to death on patio at Southwest Atlanta apartment. Now, I don't have to tell you that every single one of these stories involved black males. So why am I highlighting this culture of violence that permeates Atlanta again? Well, during the month or so that I collected these headlines, not one story on any TV station or in the newspaper that mentions this culture of black violence, not one story asking why are black males the number 1 cause of death of black males? Instead, for instance, we get a story in the AJC, black trail rides no longer just for cowboys. Wow. When do you think the people that count will start paying attention? No time soon, I suspect. Neil Bortz, XTRA 106.3.
Storms, heat, humidity, your home takes a beating down south. Southern Exteriors was built for this. Now they're offering 10% off any job or 12 months, 0% financing. Hey, it's Tug. I know the team at Southern Exteriors personally. They do things the right way. Roofing, siding, windows, gutters, anything to the exterior of your home, they do it all. Call Southern Exteriors today or visit them on the web. It's 877-9-SOUTHERN and southernexteriors.co.
This is Tom with the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, what's with all this honesty stuff?
We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly.
How honestly?
We guarantee that each vehicle we sell will come with a bill of sale showing what we paid for the vehicle. You'll pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
No gimmicks or tricks?
Nope.
Man, this sounds like a new way to buy a car.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1 or visit honestcarguy.com.
The Georgia Tech men's basketball team is poised to continue making history at the Thriller Dome next season, and you don't want to miss a minute of the action. Relive amazing moments like when Damon Stoudemire and the Yellow Jackets took down number 21 Louisville at home last year by securing your seat today. Season tickets for the 2025-26 Georgia Tech men's basketball season are now on sale. Save your seat for all the on-court action at ramblinwreck.com/tickets. Sting 'em.
Hey, Atlanta's Mark from the Safe House. I have a question for you. Am I the only person pissed off with the mainstream fake news, liberal judges,
and whiny liberal politicians
who don't realize why Donald Trump is president, and fake safes? And you may wonder, why fake safes? Well, a fake safe is like Joe Biden, cheap and ineffective. A real safe from Atlanta Safe House is like Donald Trump, tough, effective, and provides peace of mind when you need it the most. So drop by Atlanta Safe House and check out the largest selection of safes in the Southeast and see what a real safe looks like. So go to atlantasafehouse.com.
Sorry, I was playing. Well, I won't be able to do it together. Timber Pete Flounder, how's it going? 419. And I'll explain here in a second what I've just done like an idiot. There's little Donna Summer here, boy. 1979, this day, Donna Summer began 3 weeks at number 1 on the American singles chart with Hot Stuff. Her second number 1 made number 11 in Britain. Just kind of talking about that hot stuff, baby. And let's see, birthday list includes Jerry Mathers. Leave it to Beaver. Jerry Mathers, the Beaver, is 77 years old today. And I was just I was playing the intro. Anyway, now they're playing Happy Days. Sorry about that. That was bad. I thought I could pull something off, but I couldn't. All right, I tried. And on this day in history, 1939, Superman's first solo comic book. Action Comics #1, published a year earlier. The very first Superman comic book was released the month or year 1939, the first comic by National Allied Publications, featuring a magazine based on one guy. Written by Jerry Siegel, drawn by Joseph Schuster. Legend has it that Kal-El, an infant set from his doomed planet Krypton, was raised by the Kent family in Kansas. Known as Clark Kent, began work as reporter for the Daily Planet, keeping a pulse on criminal activity. Most people believe that Clark changes out of his work clothes into his tights and cape in a phone booth. However, rarely has that been the case within the pages of the actual comic books. And in fact, I just saw last night a couple of minutes of one of the Superman movies, Superman Returns or something, and it wasn't the Christopher Reeve. It was the other one, the kind of a pretty guy. I can't remember what his face was. And sure enough, he was in an elevator, and he got himself in an elevator by himself, and then went right up through the roof and whipped off his suit, and it was just like unbelievable. And I remember, I never ever missed the TV series Clark Kent with what's his name. George Reeves. Yeah. George Reeves. Never, ever missed it. And it didn't matter that all he did was take off his glasses and he wasn't Clark Kent anymore. Gee, Lois, maybe I will. Yeah. Anyway. All right, now check that. Don't forget, it's 4:21. Don't forget, at 4:30, we're going to have you sing for your tickets for Metallica tickets, if you want. We have 2 tickets for Metallica, which is tomorrow night. The concert's tomorrow night. Wow. At the what do you call it? Is it Mercedes-Benz, I think, right? Yeah. Wait, hold on.
I believe so.
Yeah, Mercedes-Benz Theater, tomorrow night, Metallica, 2 tickets, and 4:30.
It's arena.
Well, whatever. The stadium, yeah. And so we're going to try to get 2 people to sing off, and whoever's a better singer of their favorite Metallica song, we'll give the tickets to. We'll try this. If it doesn't work, we'll give them out just for the hell of it. Anyway, okay, now check this out. The world's going freaking crazy. I'm not making this up. The first state, Oregon. 2 high school athletes in Oregon refused to share the podium with a boy pretending to be a girl at the state track and field championships. Tigard High School's Alexa Anderson and Sherwood High's Reese Eckerd stepped down from the high jump podium as the winners of the competition were being announced because the girl won it. The girls finished in 3rd and 4th place, while a boy, who was actually a girl, was tied with somebody else for 5th. And the same guy, who's now a girl, competed in the boys' track and divisions as recently as last year and 2023, and then decided to become a girl and race against the girls. The 2 girls stepped down from the podium steps, and then they were ushered away by a race official. Well, Riley Games said, now, wait a minute. 2 female athletes in Oregon refused to stand on the podium because a boy was awarded a place. Girls have had enough. Women athletes are protesting against transgender competitors. That's Oregon. Okay. How about Washington State? Prompting a runner-up to receive praise from the crowd and Riley Gaines once again. A guy named Veronica Garcia, he's a boy, won the 400-meter dash by a second over the girls a year after becoming the first tranny to win a state title as a boy pretending to be a girl. The high school athlete was heckled throughout the day. People were yelling, "Let's go, girls. It's a girls' race." The opposing team was seen wearing black T-shirts that read, "Keep women's sports female." The medal ceremony was underway. The crowd greeted every athlete with roaring cheers, and then the boy, Garcia, California pretending to be a girl took to the podium and received a flurry of boos for the second straight year. I'll be honest, he said, I kind of expected it, but he said maybe they didn't have the intended effect. Made me angry, but not as angry as then I wanted to give up, or angry I'm not going to push. I'm going to put this in the most PG way I can think. I'm going to say it's a damn shame they don't have anything else better to do. I hope they get a life. That's the punk boy talking to the protesters when he was pretending to be a girl.
Arrogant narcissist.
And then the other girls were seen later with a sign that read Washington State Track and Field Real Girls 2A 400-meter champions. And the girls were saying, I shouldn't have to push myself to the point where I'm likely to die trying to beat a boy. It's impossible to run as fast as somebody who's biologically a boy and better than we are. He's being allowed to compete against girls over shattering their own hard work and their own accomplishments. What more do you need to say other than that? It's just not fair. Okay, that was Washington State, and we heard from Oregon. Now we're going to talk about California. A.B. Hernandez, a public high school junior, Southern California, who's a boy pretending to be a girl. And by the way, if you see her with her special little girly outfits and her swishy, little coquette feminine way, oh my God, you just want to slap her in the face. It's like that little bitch from the Bud Light commercials.
Yeah, women don't act like that.
That's not a woman.
Athletes.
That's not
women athletes don't get up there on the stage and do this.
Giggly and hushly and whippity-bippity. You freaking sissy.
It's a cosplay.
Yeah,
they're mimicking.
Yeah, making it up.
A caricature of Judy Garland or whoever.
So this is A.B. Hernandez. Took first place in the high jump and the triple jump and second in the long jump. A lot of complaints about this. The competitors advancing the championship were kept from going forward. More cisgender girls, they say, in gender identity conforms with their sex assigned at birth. They will have to compete. California has a rule now that if a tranny earns medals in an event, their ranking would not prevent an actual female from medaling in the girls' event as well. So that means AB would have to share the top spot with two winners in the high jump and one co-winner in the triple jump. I mean, come on. There was a banner by a plane flying overhead that's saying no boys and girls sports. Again, 3 different states, 3 different occasions over the same weekend of boys pretending to be girls and winning championships, which means the girls are not allowed to win their own championship. It's unbelievable. Oh, Lordy. Anyway, 426. Can't repeat and flounder. 404-741-1230, 741-1230. Joni Ernst is in a little bit of social media trouble. Not a big deal, but it's kind of funny how these freaking Democrats, here we go again, these dirty, rotten liars in the Democrat Party, and no matter what happens, they're going to say that it's bad for America, that what's going on with the big new bill and everything else. So Joni Ernst, and again, I don't know why politicians are doing town halls. If I were a politician, why would I do a town hall to have people come and try to disrupt it and just scream and yell at you? I mean, they're no longer really town halls. They're disrupting halls.
But I would have security there to beat them into the hospital when they started it.
I would just make sure, that they don't take their crap.
Right. Don't take it anymore.
But again, the problem is that it's asking for trouble because they're coming, so you have to get in trouble.
Speech.
Yeah, that's right.
They control you now if you give in to them.
I know. It's wrong in every way, and so you have to, give war a chance. I start wearing my hats again to say give war a chance. Joni Ernst, the Iowa GOP senator, town hall. She fielded a question about Medicare provisions in the Big One Beautiful Bill Act. The heckler said, people are going to die. The Big One Bill, people are going to die. We're all going to die. So Joni Ernst, the senator, fired back and said, people are not, well, we're all going to die. For heaven's sakes, folks. I'd like to tell, and then they went, no, oh my God, she said she mocked us for people are going to die. Oh my God, and they went, the freaking liberal Democrats, now they're picking on that as a thing. That she said, we're all going to die. Stop this ridiculous nonsense stuff. So then she offers, this is an actual apology in one way. I would like to take this opportunity to sincerely apologize for a statement that I made yesterday at my town hall. A woman who was extremely distraught screamed out from the back corner of the auditorium, people are going to die. and I made an incorrect assumption that everyone in the auditorium understood that, yes, we are all going to perish from this earth. So I apologize. I am really, really glad that I did not have to bring up the subject of the tooth fairy as well. But for those who would like to see eternal and everlasting life, I encourage you to embrace my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And then she said this hysteria coming out of the left and the blowback about comments about death and the bill and stuff is freaking ridiculous. And by the way, the bill would require able-bodied individuals to work or volunteer for several hours every month to receive Medicaid. Oh, a few hours a month, that's nothing. And by the way, I remember back in the 70s, God, what the hell was it? God, I can't remember what the circumstances were. But back in the 70s and early 80s, if you wanted to get not welfare, but what do you call it?
Medicaid?
No. The money for not working. Unemployment. Yeah, if you wanted to get unemployment, you had to physically go to the unemployment office, and you had to sit there and talk to somebody, and you had to fill out forms, and you had to go back every week with a list of the people that you contacted to look for work. And if you
they had to sign it.
Yeah, and you didn't get your money.
Right.
Period. And if you were able-bodied, you had to go to work. Now, obviously, if a woman's got 4 kids and her husband dies or leaves her or something, that's a whole other situation. That's not what we're talking about. Able-bodied people, and you can't just, and this is what happened with COVID. People just, got money for nothing. They said, I need money. Okay, here you go. Here's your check. We didn't. Did you get, I never got any COVID money.
No. Not, well, didn't we all get like $1,000, one of those stimulus checks show up or something?
That may. Yeah, I think that might have been. Yeah, I think everybody got. I'm not sure it was 1,000. Was it that much? I don't remember. I think we all did get one check, but I never got any monthly payments.
No.
We had to try to establish our own business, and nobody helped us out.
Seriously, we'd have been better off sitting on the couch eating Doritos and smoking dope. I'm not kidding.
If I'd that's right. You're right. 4:30. Oh my gosh, 4:30. Can repeat and fly. Can we do Metallica? We got any Metallica contestants?
We got one, so we need one more. So,
or if we don't get a second one, you win. Singing for Metallica tickets. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. Now, call now. We'll get you out and see if we give away these tickets. All right, look, here we go. Come on down, Johnny Olson.
America drives the world economy. And with ongoing global trade deals, tariffs doing their job, and inflation dropping, we force the world to step up. So don't let the mainstream media spin it to you any differently. Get the news that matters to you from XTRA 106.3 FM and the XTRA app.
Yes, I didn't need him, but I was thinking of David Van Sant after I got hit on my chopper yesterday by a woman who ran into my rear tire as I was a long story. Anyway, no damage, no problem, so everything, and she walked away. Everything was fine. I didn't, Anyway, David Van Sant, if you have an accident or something's going on, a personal injury lawyer is one of the top 100 trial lawyers on the list in Georgia, David Van Sant. And, he used to work for the insurance companies. That means, he knows all the ins and outs. And again, I don't have anything. I love insurance companies. I'm certainly glad I've used them a lot of times. But they have their tables and charts, and they don't like to pay any more than they have to, and they have got all these lawyers. Well, David Van Sant used to work there, so he knows all their lawyers, and they know him, and they know he doesn't lose. And by the way, he's on your side, because if you don't get paid, he doesn't get paid. Van Sant Law. Insurance is complicated. He's got the same tables and charts and everything else, and not every case is the same. You don't want to argue with these guys. Let David do it. He's number one for you. The phone number, 855-GA-INJURY. Look him up online, vansantlaw.com.
I enjoy a good night's sleep, and I like to breathe while I'm sleeping. My wife appreciates that, too. That's why I wear a CPAP. You want the right machine. You want expert advice. You want all the supplies that go with it. You get it all at CPAPs, etc. in Alpharetta. Machines, masks, tubing, filters, cleaning supplies, all of it, and they ship nationwide. Walk-ins, by the way, are welcome. CPAPs, etc. Alpharetta, cpapsetc.com.
It's that time of year again. Chuck, the owner of Central Heating and Air Conditioning, is bringing back the 5th annual Christmas in July, benefiting Skyland Trail, a nonprofit leading the way in mental health wellness right here in Atlanta. Skyland Trail provides expert, evidence-based treatment to help people facing mental health challenges find a path to recovery. Central Heating and Air Conditioning is proud to support this mission. As one of the few second-generation locally owned HVAC companies in Atlanta, Central knows what it means to give back. Here's how you can help. Just sign up for a maintenance agreement with Central Heating and Air Conditioning, and $10 from every new agreement will go directly to Skyland Trail, providing life-changing mental health care for adults and teenagers. Central services all makes and models, and with them, you're never just a number, you're part of the family. Call 770-GET-HEAT or visit centralheat.com to sign up and help Central Heating and Air Conditioning give back. Carrier products, carrier warranty, carrier peace of mind. Central Heating and Air Conditioning, your Atlanta carrier experts.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Hey, this is Tom from The Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale, showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed. Honesty is the best policy, and we guarantee it. Finally, a pre-owned car and truck buying process that you can trust.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com. Many dedicated first responders and service members like Austin Reese have paid a high price for the security and freedom we enjoy. Austin served 3 deployments in Iraq, spent 13 years with the Navy Explosive Ordnance Disposal Unit. He learned to skydive on the job, became a military free fall instructor. But in what he thought was a routine jump, something went terribly wrong. He hit the ground at 65 miles an hour. In that moment, everything changed. He lived. But Austin broke his pelvis, his ankle, he suffered spinal cord injury, and he is paralyzed. But thanks to the generosity of friends like you, Tunnel to Towers gave Austin a specially adapted smart home to enable him to rebuild his life after an unimaginable hardship. You helped Austin restore his dignity, independence, and hope for the future. And in doing so, you honored his service in the most meaningful of ways. Help heroes like Austin. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org. That's T2T.org.
Attention warriors, are you a veteran ready to navigate to success after service? Tune in to the Warrior Alliance Network. Join us as we spotlight inspiring stories, provide essential resources, and connect you with a community dedicated to empowering veterans. From career advice to health and wellness tips, the Warrior Alliance Network is your go-to hub for post-service success. Tune in Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. on XTRA 106.3. Join us on the mission, the Warrior Alliance Network, where warriors thrive together. Visit us at thewarrioralliance.org for more information.
I got it. How's it going? It's only me. It's only the Kimmer there with Thin Lizzy. Is that what we're playing? Yeah. All right. Oh, my. What's he yelling? Take a singer? All right, sir. Well, the crowd's happy about it. Obviously, a live album will go in here. In 1978, Thin Lizzy released the live double album, Live and Dangerous. It's recorded in Philadelphia, London, and Toronto in 1977. During the tours accompanying the albums Johnny the Fox and Bad Reputation. Thin Lizzy, peaking number 2 on the British album charts, held that spot. Number 1 was Grease Soundtrack, remained on there for 62 weeks. Now I know this part. I've heard this before. I think, maybe not. Thin Lizzy, there you go. Anyway, Kimber, Pete, and Flounder. What's the matter?
The boys are back in town.
The boys are back in town. That's what I remember. The boys are back in town. That's what I remember. Let's see. Birthdays include Stacy Keach. I always used to get him confused with Robert Mitchum for some reason. Stacy Keach is 84. Wow. Stacy Keach, I believe that. He played Mike Hammer. He was on 2.5 Men, Blue Bloods, Prison Break. Stacy Keach, 84 years old.
The Long Riders, him and his brother James, and the Carradine brothers, and the Quaid brothers. What a great movie that was! Yeah,
and all those guys back in the day. Cool.
He was also the policeman in the Cheech and Chong movies too.
Oh, I didn't remember. Oh, mercy. Let's see. And on this day in history, 1774, the British Parliament renews the Quartering Act. After the Boston Tea Party, 342 chests of tea dumped into the Boston Harbor in December 73, dubbed the Boston Tea Party. Where the news reached Britain in January 1774, they were very upset over there in Britain, so they quickly decided upon the Coercive Act, reasserting British control. They curtailed democracy in Massachusetts, altered who the colonial charter can do, reducing the power of elected officials, increased the royal governor's power. They passed the Justice Act, ensuring royal officials charged with capital crimes could not be tried in the colonies, but only back in Britain. And the Boston Port Act demanded repayment for the destroyed tea before the port could reopen for any more imports except food. They expanded the Quartering Act, originally demanded the colonists provide barracks for the soldiers, either in hotels or public houses and empty buildings. But then it became, if we want your house, we're taking it. And that was pretty much the beginning of the folks saying, I don't think so. All right, 4:39. Flounder, how are we doing?
All right, we're ready.
Have we got a contest going here? Now, I'm going to be able to do this one at a time. Is that what we're going to do?
Well, how would you like to do it?
I don't. PJ?
Duet?
You guys made this up. I got the people on hold and the songs they want to sing.
Well,
so.
I don't know whether we can put them on the air at the same time.
We cannot do that.
I don't want that.
All right, all right, take it easy. So we have caller number 1 and caller number 2. So we'll take our first call. Again, these are for Metallica tickets for tomorrow night, 2 tickets. Tomorrow night, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. So we're going to have 2 people singing off of one of your favorite Metallica songs, and then the 3 of us will judge who we think should get the tickets. Is that going to be fair? And I feel bad already because someone's going to be upset. But we have 2 contestants.
Caller number 1, sign in, please.
All right. Who are you, sir? Welcome aboard.
Pete, doing Ride the Lightning.
I'm sorry.
His name is Pete, and he's going to do this song here called Ride the Lightning.
Excellent. Here is Pete. Right. Here we go.
All right, Pete, hit it.
There you go, buddy.
Guilty as charged, but damn it, it ain't right. There's someone else controlling me. Death in the air, trapped in the electric chair. This can't be happening to me. Who made you God to say, I'll take your life from you? Right before my eyes. Now it's time to die.
All right, Pete, well done. Hold on. No, don't hang up now, Pete. We'll put you on hold. Flounder, we got Pete on hold. Well, that was...
He finished well.
That was spectacular. I mean, I read the beginning, middle, and end and everything. It's incredible. And now we have caller number...
We should do a cappella. Maybe not with music, because that helps. Maybe we should just
I don't know where if he could even hear it, so I don't think it affected it. But either way, it's fine. Now, caller number 2, who are you, and welcome aboard, sir or ma'am? Who's this?
This is Doug.
All right, and Doug is going to do Enter Sandman, which starts with...
Oh, wow. Here we go. Baseball closer theme. New York Yankees. Yes, sir. Here we go.
Virginia Tech.
Go ahead, Doug. Anytime, sir.
Sleep with one eye open, gripping your pillow tight. Exit night into light. Take my hand off the Never Land.
All right.
Well, that was Doug, ladies and gentlemen. This is incredible. Now, should we have we'll have raised hands for the YouTube audience too. Just raise your hands for voting. Shall we vote for number 1, number 2, boys? Do we do secret ballots, or what do you want to do here?
No. Okay, Kimmer, what do you say? 1 or 2?
I think I got to go number 1. I think I got to go
Flounder?
Pete.
I was going to go with Pete, number 1. He had just a little more enthusiasm.
They were both tremendous.
They were wonderful.
We couldn't have asked for more, tell you the truth.
Yeah, I know.
But since Pete's already won, I will make it unanimous.
Okay. Doug, do we have anything for Doug? In fact, I should bring one of my old clocks from my house or something to give to Doug as a prize.
Crayons.
Yeah. Or maybe, do we have any a prize clock? We
could probably get him an extra T-shirt or something.
We'll put him on.
We'll figure something out.
And Doug, don't go away. We'll get. I'll give you some of my Kimmer T-shirts or something. We'll give you something. Doug will get something. And Pete, is Pete still on the phone? Pete, do we still have you here?
I'm right here.
Hey, Pete,
He's our winner. Pete's on the... Pete?
Hey, Pete, you won.
I just want to say, I appreciate it because you know what? It's my son's 23rd birthday. I would love to take him to it.
Oh, no, what a great idea.
2002.
I'm sorry, I missed
10:37 p.m.
I'm sorry, I missed all of that. I couldn't hear you. Please, once again. Well, whatever. I guess he's all right, hold on. We'll put you on hold. I'm sorry. I missed all of that. Well, that was cool. Well done. All right, very nice. And again, Doug, don't worry. We'll definitely take care of Doug. And Pete got the tickets, so there you go. I mean, that's good. That's fun stuff. There you go. Well done. All right, 443. Kimmer, Pete, and the Flounder. 404-741-1230. 741-1230. You know what? Can I do something here? I've got a story to tell that I told on the radio once several years ago, and it really touched me when I was reading it last night because of an anniversary thing. And this is, there's a lot of badness going on in the world today, but here is a kind of a lesson, and I hope this has meaning to you because I got to get my phone ready because I got an update here on my phone, and that will be here. Here we go. All right, now, here's the story. Dr. Frank Mayfield was touring Tewksbury Institute. On his way out, he accidentally collided with an elderly floor maid. To cover the awkward moment, Dr. Mayfield started asking questions. How long have you worked here? She said, well, I've worked here almost since the place opened, she replied. What can you tell me about the history of this place, he said. Well, I don't think I can tell you anything, but I could show you something. With that, she took his hand, led him down to the basement under the oldest section of the building. She pointed to one of what looked like small prison cells, their iron bars rusted with age, and she said, that's the cage where they used to keep Annie. Who's Annie? The doctor asked. Annie was a young girl who was brought in here because she was incorrigible. It means nobody could do anything with her. She'd bite and scream and throw her food at people. The doctors and nurses couldn't even examine her or anything. I'd see them trying with her, spitting and scratching at them. I was only a few years younger, and she was, and I used to think, I sure would hate to be locked up in a cage like that. I wanted to help her, but I didn't have any idea what I could do. I mean, I work here. I mean, if the doctors and nurses couldn't help her, what could someone like me do? I didn't know what else to do, so I just baked her some brownies one night after work. The next day, I brought them in. I walked carefully to her cage and said, Annie, I baked these brownies just for you. I'll put them right here on the floor, and you can come and get them if you want. And then I got out of there as fast as I could because I was afraid she might throw them at me, but she didn't. She took the brownies and ate them. After that, she was a little bit nicer to me when I was around, and sometimes I'd talk to her. Once I even got her laughing. One of the nurses noticed this and said she told the doctor. They asked me if I'd help them with Annie. I said, well, if I could. That's how it came about. Every time they wanted to see Annie or examine her, I went into the cage first, explained to her, calmed her down, held her hand, which is how they discovered that Annie was almost totally blind. They'd been working with her for a year. It was tough sledding with Annie. The Perkins Institute for Blind opened its doors. They were able to help her, and she went on to study and became a teacher herself. Annie came back to the Tewksbury Institute to visit long after that to see what she could do to help them out there. At first, the doctor and the director didn't say anything, and then he thought about a letter he had just received. A man had written to him about the man's daughter. She was absolutely unruly, like an animal. He'd been told that she was blind and deaf and deranged. He was at his wit's end, didn't know what to do, put her in an asylum. He didn't want to do that. So he wrote to ask the Institute if there was anybody they knew, maybe any kind of a teacher, who would come to his house and work with his daughter. And that is how Annie Sullivan became the lifelong companion of Helen Keller. When Helen Keller received the Nobel Prize, she was asked who had the greatest impact on her life. And she said, Annie Sullivan. And Annie Sullivan said, no, Helen. The woman who had the greatest influence on both our lives was a floor maid at the Tewksbury Institute. P.S. History has changed when one person asks, what can someone like me do? For the record, Helen Keller died. The news went around the world on this day in 1968. She passed away in Connecticut at the age of 87. What a story. Alexander Graham Bell, the inventor of the phone, had her arranged to meet with a teacher from the Perkins Institute for the Blind in Boston. And that's how it all started. Annie Sullivan's teacher. Wow, 448, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. It's Monday. How you doing? What's going on? Congratulations to our Metallica ticket holders, too. Look out, here we go.
are in Georgia, you can stream Extra 106.3 and crystal clear digital with the all-new Extra 106.3 app. Get Extra's live on-air stream in real time, or go back and listen to all your favorite shows, Neil Bortz, or original podcasts, no matter where you go. Grab the Extra 106.3 app now and start streaming.
Don't miss the first MLB All-Star Week event at Truist Park as talent meets tradition in the 3rd annual HBCU Swingman Classic presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLBPA Youth Development Foundation. Join fans, athletes, and alumni to watch Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. shine a light on 50 of the best young ball players from HBCUs around the country on baseball's biggest stage, July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
A company that has been trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years has already done their hometown homework, like having the very best people, fair, honest pricing, exceptional customer service, and a focus on high-quality work. That's us. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. Sometimes new isn't better, like out-of-town home improvement companies invading Atlanta with their inflated pricing and subpar work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 SeasonsGarages.com.
This is Bruce Hagen. The law in Georgia has changed, and if you have been injured in a car crash, it's going to be harder than ever to get insurance companies to treat you fairly. What you need is a real lawyer on your side, not some phony TV or billboard lawyer who doesn't even know how to get to the courthouse. I've been a Georgia super lawyer for 20 straight years, and we try cases and we win. We get results for our clients. Call me, get in touch, Hagen-law.com. We are real lawyers who will win your personal injury case.
And a guy's got some pipes.
Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through?
1966, Frank Sinatra, #1, Strangers in the Night.
Something in your
The singer's second #1 in Britain. This song was originally composed by Abel Uvezian as Broken Guitar, and later under the title Betty Bye. It was part of the instrumental score for the movie A Man Could Get Killed. Strangers in the Night, Frank Sinatra, 66. Wow, the guy can you imagine what his life would have been if he didn't have a great voice? I mean, about 5'4" gangster from New Jersey,
Hoboken.
God, yeah, mother ran an abortion clinic apparently. Whatever.
Please don't mention.
Well, it's not my fault. It's not his fault.
It doesn't define him.
It had nothing to do with that. I mean, who says anything? Yeah, 452. So he was a gangster. He liked gangsters. A lot of people like gangsters. I wish I had some gangster friends myself. Who could say anything bad about the man? To the phone. Oh no, it's Rick the Painter. It's Rick the Painter with a Kipper Pete flood. Hello, Rick. How's it going?
Hey, man, happy Monday, brother.
Oh, man, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Listen, my friend Sam, he just heard the singers and stuff. He said, he said he could have won those tickets.
He could have won those tickets?
Said, well, my friend Sam, and he's a singer. Yeah. He said he can sing like Metallica. Yeah. He said, you want to hear me sing? Yeah. I told Sam not to sing, but Sam sung anyway.
Sam sung anyway, so it's hey ho. All right,
You know,
sir.
Kimmer?
Yes, I don't know
My
much.
grandfather always used to say, as one door closes, another one opens.
It opens the door, yeah.
He was a great guy, but a terrible carpenter.
Hey, ho. Hey, you're blocking the window as the carpenter picked up his hammer and saw the window. Anyway, no, I'm sorry, that's an old one. That didn't even come out right. Our birthday list includes. It's Monday. Give me a break. I got nothing. I got hit by I was on my chopper. I got hit by a woman behind me. I couldn't freaking believe it. I meet there's a freaking traffic light on Route 9, and I'm sitting there on my chopper and I'm minding my own freaking business. The car goes on the left, and all of a sudden behind me, this woman pulls up in this white Mercedes square vehicle, whatever the hell it is, and boom, runs into my back tire. Thank God the fender didn't go down that low. It's a custom chopper, so the fender doesn't go all the way down. The tire, she bumped into my tire, sent me bumping forward. So I got off of that thing, and man, I was ready to throttle whoever the hell was in that vehicle. Turns out it was a woman. And she was extremely sorry and apologetic, and I let her have it. I was not doing anything physical, but I wanted her to know that I would like to do various things. And so she got out and apologized, and she was waving her hands and was all upset and everything else. And and then unfortunately, when the light changed, I got back on my chopper and kept going. Nobody was hurt, and the chopper wasn't hurt. So she was still behind me for like another 3 miles up the road. Every other stoplight for another 3 miles, she's behind me, way behind me. So, she wasn't anywhere near me until she finally turned off. But again, I bought my first motorcycle in the spring of 1965, and this is the first time I've ever been hit on a motorcycle. And luckily, it was a little minor thing. I've almost been hit many times, but this is the first time I've actually had any physical confrontation. Good Lord. Let's see. Our birthday list includes Joanna Gleason. You may not know the name. I didn't write. Hold on, I got her age. I'm a freaking idiot. Sometimes I do this. I transfer. See, I have papers I do at home at night and in the morning, and then I bring them in here and I transfer them and stuff. So I didn't write down her age on the second transfer sheet. Joanna Gleason is 75. And Joanna Gleason, you may not know the name. She was Rachel's boss on Friends, but I remember her from the movie Boogie Nights. She was the nasty mother of the porn guy who worked in the kitchen, then became the porn star in Boogie Nights. And she was his mother who said, well, you never amount to anything. You're just a dirty little thing. You have sex with a dirty woman like a dirty little slimy little boy. Just a vicious thing. Joanna Gleason, 75 years old today. So there you are. And let's see a little history thing here for you, if you don't mind. Oh, I'll do this in honor of Tug, our morning show guy. Tug and the smart one on the morning show. Tug, a sailor, Navy guy. And on this day in 1813, U.S. Captain James Lawrence was, Captain James Lawrence was in charge of his frigate, the USS Chesapeake, against the Royal Navy frigate, the HMS Shannon. The British ship was able to disable the Chesapeake during the first few minutes of the battle. Captain Lawrence was wounded badly. He would die of his wounds 2 days later. But this is when Captain James Lawrence made his famous proclamation, "Don't give up the ship. Fight her till she sinks." Well, the British boarded and took that ship. Didn't have to sink it. But that was when he said, "Don't give up the ship." That was 1813, the War of 1812, which was basically the Second American Revolution. They don't teach that in school, I don't think, ever, but that really was the Second Revolutionary War, basically.
They teach the Battle of New Orleans and the White House being burnt, but that's it, basically.
Yeah. 4:57, holy cow, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. A horrible, horrible story, and I've done this with a wife in the background of me. When Pete and Flounder, have you guys ever been parasailing? Where you get on the dock, and then the boat, you go up in the bottom. Yeah, well, I've done it, and I did it with a certain wife strapped into the thing. And by the way, they do strap you in with cables and straps and stuff. If you pull the wrong one, you're going to fall out of the harness. Well, a girl named Tiana Radojic, 19 years old, from Montenegro, or was in Montenegro on a vacation. She is from Serbia. She was with some friends on holiday, and she apparently she had been filming a promotional video for a tourist agency. They said, "Hey, lady, she was cute. They put her in a bikini. They said, we'll give you a free parasailing ride in exchange for doing a video to boost business with tourists for the summer." She said, "Sure, I'll do it." And they said, "Now, are you scared of anything?" "No, I love everything." "Are you scared of boat? You're going high?" "No, I love everything. So they showed her how to do it. They put her in the harness, showed her everything else. They took her up there. She started going, all of a sudden she said, put me down, put me down. She started grabbing the straps. She grabbed the wrong strap. She unbuckled her seatbelt, leaned around, twisted in her seat, tipped upside down, and fell through the leg braces to her death in the ocean. Screaming, suffering a panic attack when she took off in the boat when they sailed up into the sky. And they said she was happy and had no fear of anything, and she panicked and died parasailing. And I'll tell you what, when you're up there and you're looking, it's a thing. It's definitely a thing. 4:59. I blow the whole segment for a Flounder's Funny there, Flounder, at all?
What? I tried to eat healthy. I can't. I've been eating the wrong way for too long. My stomach reacts to salads like some of y'all's reacts to Taco Bell. It's like, what is this? We've never heard of a carrot. We're not packing this. We're sending it, Sometimes I need some chicken fingers to get back on my feet again. I've lived in a hipster neighborhood for a while, and they always tell me, Derek, you need a juice drink. You need a smoothie. You need some juice. I'm like, if I have any more juice and somebody bumps into me, I'm going to poop my britches. I'm an adult. I'm not built for juice. Children are built for juice. If I have 2 cups of apple juice back to back, your boy's fighting for his life.
If you spend a lot of time in the smallest room in the house. Coming up at 5 o'clock, Holy Crap and Sports standing by. We got Pete's Tweets. I think a lot of sports stuff, and it's all coming up. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How's your Monday? Look at 106.3. Look at
It's WFOM and W292EV Marietta, a Dickey broadcasting station. Locally owned and heard throughout Georgia on the XTRA app.
They're vowing justice in Boulder. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. After yesterday's fiery attack on pro-Israel demonstrators in Colorado, the suspect, Mohammed Solomon, is charged with a federal hate crime.
And when he was interviewed about the attack, he said he wanted them all to die. He had no regrets, and he would go back and do it again.
Acting U.S. Attorney J. Bishop Grewal moments ago on the federal complaint filed today.
What the charges allege that he did was to throw Molotov cocktails at a group of men and women, some of them in their late 80s, burning them as they peacefully walked on a Sunday to draw attention to Israeli hostages held in Gaza.
Solomon also facing multiple state counts, including attempted murder. Officials also just confirming additional victims, now 12 injured in all. President Trump blaming the attack on his predecessor's border policies. Sources say the suspect is from Egypt and overstayed a visa in 2023. The Trump administration will send House lawmakers a request to cancel some spending already approved, aimed at codifying cuts from the Department of Government Efficiency.
The first round is about $9 billion in cuts to USAID, NPR, and PBS. Congressman Mark Alford expects it to pass, but says some might be on the fence.
I think everyone is looking forward to making more cuts on the Republican side. There are maybe a few people in more moderate districts who still see a need for PBS and NPR.
Critics argue USAID provides life-saving services overseas, and NPR and PBS are vital tools in informing the public.
Fox's Ryan Schmel. Some Senate Republicans also demanding more spending cuts as they take up the House-passed bill that would advance the president's agenda. America is listening to Fox News.
Are you living with dry AMD? If so, you could be on the road to geographic atrophy, or GA, a condition that leads to retinal cell death and permanent vision loss. But with Izervay, you can
slow it down, get it going slower.
Izervay slows GA progression by targeting a key source of retinal cell death, which may help preserve your vision longer. Izervay, or Avastin Capted Pagel, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Let's get it together, ladies. Left shoulder, right of leg. Ready on your dog target. Pair, hello, pair. Daily, hello, pair. Road guards out. Pair, hello, pair. Hello, pair. Look out. It's only me, Sully. It's only the cover with Pete Davis and Flounder and you. And here's the number, 404-741-1230, 741-1230. I'll try to remember to bring in some stuff I have just for the for kicks to give to our buddy Doug, who was not the winner of the Metallica tickets. Pete was, but we'll give him, we had a little fun here if you missed it around 4:30. Giving his singing for the Metallica tickets was kind of bizarre. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder, 404-741-1230. Holy crap, it's sports coming up. I got a lot of sports stuff here. I want to check with Pete Davis here on 2. Also, all that newsy stuff that's going on, the stuff in Colorado. I mean, holy moly. And there's no other way to explain it other than, the liberals did this. And again, even the police chief and the mayor of Boulder, Colorado, tried to downplay it as though it were nothing. Because, an incident that happened and everything, 12 people were almost killed. And one of them apparently one's still in critical condition, I think. And now they're saying 12 were eventually hurt. So anyway, we'll talk about all this stuff. And political stuff and all kinds of things bizarre. Our Treasury Secretary setting the Liberals going crazy once again. Billions of things in the news. First of all, I have another. Two things actually before I get to my my certain number of a little thing I have going. It's very bizarre. Pete Davis and Flounder. I don't know about Flounder, but Pete Davis. I'll bet you'll love this. I saw a promo or a video tease for a movie called The Phoenician Scheme.
It looks funny.
Have you seen? Now, when I saw that, I remember we talked about this once. Remember the movie about the weird hotel? There's a strange.
The Grand Budapest.
The Grand Budapest. Was that a Grand Budapest?
Yes.
Something.
Great movie.
Yeah, and it was the damnedest, weirdest, funny, and it was fantastic. And when I saw the previous one, I thought, well, this looks stupid. And then one night I just watched it and I thought, this is really a great movie.
Ray Fiennes.
And it was this. If you don't know what we're talking about, this you should Google it to look it up, because the style of it was really weird. It was almost like something like Spike Lee came up with, like zoot suit kind of photography.
My God, it's 1,000 times better than anything.
I know,
Spike Lee
and
ever did.
I'm trying to think of what was the other one where, like with Dick Tracy, just weird.
With Warren Beatty.
Different photography and acting styles and everything. And this one has Benicio del Toro, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hanks, Bill Murray, and Michael Cera. And it's called The Phoenician Scheme, and it looked that same style of that goofy hotel, Marigold Hotel.
Bryan Cranston's in it too.
And anyway, I just thought you'd get it. I guess it's at the movie theater. I don't think it's like an app thing. But anyway, I thought I'd pass it out. Also, this was really weird. Today, in fact, last night I'm watching the ball game, watching the Dodgers and the Yankees, which was a replay of the World Series, and so which is was a big thing. And of course, all the stars, they had major superstars. What a series that was. And so I didn't watch it all. I got stuff to do, but I watched part of the thing. And the first thing I realized when I didn't turn in the beginning of the game, and I was watching the game, and all the players had the number 4 on their chest, on their uniforms. And I thought, well, I'm trying to think, number 4, that's Duke Snider on the Dodgers. What's number 4 for the Yankees? And then I realized, eventually, what I talked about is Lou Gehrig, this is the day that Lou Gehrig passed away, and this was ALS Day, and the Yankees were not going to be at their home stadium on the actual anniversary, so they wore the number 4 on the day, even though they were in a away ballpark. Anyway, so that's what the number 4 was, and I thought to my first thing when I think of the number 4 is my brother Gene, the golf pro, whose favorite baseball player was Duke Snider, who was number 4, and so I like number 4 and Duke Snider too, because my older brother did. And I've told you guys before, and I even put a video of this. I should have tried to find it again. When I reach for my sugar packs, those little blue sugar packs, the fake sugar, in the box, and I remember I put the video because you guys made fun of me when I asked you if you've ever known about pennies from heaven. Have you ever had an experience where you find a penny and reminded you of somebody who told you something, and if I ever do this, you'll see a penny remind you of that kind of deal? Pennies from heaven? Okay. You've never had that kind of thing. When I reach into my pack of fake sugar package, what do they call them? Little packs of sugar, I pull out 4. Almost like 99.9% of the time. And again, they're just in there. I don't feel them. I just reach in. I grab a thing, and there's 4 of them. And that's my brother. I say, hey, Gino, that's my brother Gene, and those things. And I put video of that, actually me doing it to show that it's just, it's a remarkable thing. So last night I'm watching the ball game, and number 4 is everywhere. The sugar packs are number 4. When I went to bed last night, this morning, I wake up and look at the clock, and it's 4:44 in the morning. I don't know why. It's just really, I don't know. I know it's stupid, but it's the damnedest thing. And I was up at 2:15 too, but and at 5:10. But I woke. It was 4:44 after I was thinking about the number 4, my brother, and the game, and the Lou Gehrig and everything else.
There's a word for it.
What's it called?
Synchronicity.
Synchronicity.
Doesn't mean a damn thing.
No,
but
I know
there's
it
a
doesn't.
word for it.
I
used to believe in it. It don't work.
I'm sure it's stupid, but again, I'm just telling you, it was the weirdest, stupidest thing. Anyway, so just for the record, 404-741-1230. Again, a couple things I don't understand. Well, I do understand. It was Boulder, Colorado, the suspect guy, and again, the Boulder police chief and the Boulder mayor both tried to downplay it. They're lying and deceiving and cheating their own people. These are the same people who said, well, we don't have gangbangers taking over apartment complexes in Colorado. Come on, what are you talking about here? In Denver? Oh, please. Yeah, because it looks bad. And they would rather lie to you than have something look bad.
Well, they're anti-Semites. He let some city guy in one of the city council things go off on Jewish people and then defended him.
Yeah.
He's an anti-Semite himself, in my opinion.
Yeah. Free speech. Well, free speech. Well, okay, now wait a minute. Well, free speech is, fine, but it also means they tried to kill Donald Trump twice by urging people that he was a Nazi and need to be stopped. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so this guy, Mohammed Sabri Solomon, 45 years old, overstayed his visa. He got a work permit. Again, this is Biden's fault. He was supposed to be thrown out of the country, and the Biden people gave him a work permit, let him stay here, and then he overstayed that. The Biden administration gave him a work permit. Even he overstayed his visa. And this called suicidal migration has to be reversed. He was an Egyptian, entered the country illegally 3 years ago. And again, he used the 2-bottle. I didn't even see exactly what he had. It was it was gasoline and some kind of
2 Molotov cocktails.
Yeah, but how did he light them up? I don't know what the torch was he used to do it and spray. I don't know specifically, but he used flamethrowers, homemade Molotov cocktails where he threw them and lit people on fire.
So can we execute him on national television in front of the Boulder City Council by starting with his toes and burning him?
Well, my preference, and again, this is just my personal preference, my preference would be that we set him on fire and then put it out. For it'd be like 40 seconds. Yeah. And then you say, okay, I'll go back to your room, and they put him in a cell by himself. No treatment or anything with his burns and stuff. And then the next day you say, we'll be back. And then the next day you say, okay, that was 30 minutes. Today we're going to let you burn for 30 seconds. Today we're going to let you burn for 40 seconds. And then every day you tell him we're going to let you burn for a little while longer just to drive him crazy. I know that's horrible. I'm sorry. I should take all that back. Honestly, I can't believe if I'd have been there, I'd have shot him. If I'd have been there visiting my kids, well, I know. I live in. My kids live in Denver, not in Boulder. But if I go to visit my kids, if I'm driving, I've got my gun, and I guarantee you, if I was, I know, and but I guarantee you, and if I were there in public with my children and my family, I'd have had a gun in my pocket, and if he had done that in front of me, I'd have shot him.
Yeah, I agree.
So would you. He's setting people on fire, old people on fire in their 80s.
I'm telling you right now, if you're Jewish and anywhere in the world right now, if you don't own a gun, you're just stupid.
You're crazy.
They're literally gunning for you and burning you alive, including Holocaust survivors now on American soil.
One of those women that was burned escaped the turmoil of the Nazi Germany, basically.
And the Democrats are not only allowing it, they're cheering it on.
Yeah. And they're not. How could they not condemn this? This is anti-everything that's decent. Seriously.
Well, they're not decent. They're demonic.
They will do. Ends justify the means. They don't mind setting people on fire if they can destroy America. They don't like what we stand for currently and want to change it. And they're not stopping. You thought after the Trump election that maybe there'd be a little tone down to saying, well, we really blew that one. Hardly. In fact, False Walls says Democrats should get more mean. They should get meaner toward Donald Trump. Really, you tried to kill him twice. How much more mean can you get? 5:13. Holy Graphic Sports is coming up. And we still got Pete's tweets and more Flounders funnies and going crazy here. Happy Monday. How's it going? Look out.
Listen to the Morning Extra, The Kimmer Show, Neil Bortz, and all your favorite Extra 106.3 personalities whenever you want with the all-new Extra app. It's anytime show replays, all your favorite podcasts, and the latest political news from across Georgia. Download the Extra 106.3 app now for Apple or Android.
Life is unpredictable, but when trouble comes, you need a team you can trust. At Ace Second Chance Bail Bonds, we've been helping families for nearly 20 years, providing fast, professional, and discreet service. With 12 locations across Metro Atlanta and Birmingham, we're available 24/7 to get your loved one home, quick and with care. It's better to know us and not need us than need us and not know us. Call 404-BAIL-OUT, that's 404-BAIL-OUT, or visit atlbail.com today.
Back by popular demand, D. Geller & Son Jewelers Watches and Whiskey event is next weekend, June 13th through 15th at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. This is Jonathan Geller at D. Geller & Son, where we're celebrating summer and Father's Day by bringing in an incredible variety of new and pre-owned luxury Swiss timepieces. Fan favorites like Tissot and Omega, showstoppers like Rolex and Breitling. You can walk out the door with something you might have to wait years on a list for otherwise. D. Geller & Son has been Atlanta's source for quality and value since 1939. And with over 85 years in Atlanta, you can trust what you're getting from D. Geller & Son. And while you're browsing, enjoy complimentary whiskey tastings thanks to Old Fourth Distillery, and get a free whiskey gift set with your purchase. Guys, watches and whiskey. How much better could a Father's Day weekend be? It's this weekend, June 13th through 15th at D. Geller & Son Jewelers in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Hey, Georgia neighbors, it's time to expect more from your Medicare Advantage. Discover Sonder Health's custom plans tailored just for Georgians. Saunders offers unique benefits, including special plans for those living with chronic conditions. Some plans even come with grocery or gas benefits to support your overall well-being. Sonder Health makes it easy to get the coverage you need. See for yourself what today's Medicare Advantage can do for you. Visit SonderHealthPlans.com, a healthier state of life. Sonder Health Plans is an HMO and PPO with Medicare contracts. Enrollment in Sonder Health Plans depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's Mike from Atlanta Painting Company. Summer is here, and you want to save money for a vacation. So, right now, save 10% on any painting job Atlanta Painting Company does for you this summer. Atlanta Painting Company is still Atlanta's biggest family-owned and run painting company, and we are passionate about making your family's home look great. So get in touch. Head to AtlantaPaintingCompany.com to save 10% on any paint job this summer. Atlanta Painting Company, the painters you can trust.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us, too, in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
All right, look out. 1933, this was the day President Roosevelt built a swimming pool in the White House, 1933. And then along came Richard Nixon. They had the whole thing filled in and turned it into the modern press briefing room. Hey, sponsored by RBM of Atlanta. Holy crap, it's sports at Pete Davis.
Braves are off today before the Diamondbacks come to town tomorrow night. It'll be the 3-7 Zach Gallen for Arizona against the Spencer Strider machine, who is 0-3 so far.
Oh, my.
Yeah. Not his fault.
No, it's not. You're right.
No. Braves have lost 11 of their last 19 games after dropping 2 out of 3 at home to the Red Sox over the weekend. The Braves are now in 4th place, a half game behind the Nationals.
Wow.
The Nationals.
Yeah.
This is not a good hitting team. something is wrong. It's either the players or the coaching, but this team is too talented to be struggling right now at this point. They had the third best staff earned run average last month, yet produced a losing record with it. They're not even mediocre. They're back to 4 games under 500 after fighting so hard to overcome an 0-7 start. Fans and media both say the team looks lethargic. There's questions about the staff after first the Jared Kelnick lollygagging incident was unnoticed, and now it looks like a pitcher had to tell the coaching staff that A.J. Smith-Shawver had injured his pitching arm the other day.
I saw that.
Real problems or not, the optics, not good. They're 9.5 games out of first place on June 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow.
One good thing did happen this weekend. The 1871 Grill at Truist Park served lobster rolls in honor of Boston being in town.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's
I'd been there
good.
for that. Another sign of hope, Barrett Sully of 680 The Fan tweets that since 2018, no team has a better record in the month of June than the Atlanta Braves. They've won 103 games and lost only 57. Well, 58 after yesterday, but still the best record in baseball by several games over the Astros. Yeah.
Well, okay, I'm Mr. Grump here. Every time somebody says, well, they haven't lost in June for 25 years. What's that got to do with 25 years ago? Every day is different. Every team is different. Every minute is different. There's no possible inclination of any link between any other season in June and this season in June. It's just silly.
It's called analytics. There's trends.
You
why are
can't
you so
trend
grumpy?
in human sports activities.
Don't you believe?
Every player is different. They don't have the same people. If they had the same staff and they never got older and they played every game the same, then you could say they never lose.
Okay, then you wouldn't change pitchers. You just let the same guy pitch the whole time. Come on, there are trends, there's stats.
Okay.
You follow the stats.
All right, yeah.
The D-backs had their own embarrassing weekend at home as Saturday night they gave up 10 runs in the first inning to the Nationals. 9 of those runs came before Arizona recorded an out. You imagine paying good money to sit there in the front row to watch that?
No, I can't. No.
They lost 11-7, so they tried to come back.
Yeah.
Told you last week about Astros pitcher Lance McCullers and his family getting death threats after a bad pitching performance. Houston police say they know who the culprit is. An unnamed drunk bettor from overseas who had bet and lost heavily on the Stros game. The man remains unnamed by the police, don't know where he lives. But he's asked the Popo to relay an apology to McCullers, saying he did it while he was drunk. So, would you forgive this guy? Before you answer, let me tell you exactly what he said.
All right.
He threatened to quote right here.
I'm telling you, the screen went something's going on. It could be that sunspot thing we talked about.
It's probably a sunspot.
I guarantee you
what it is.
Anyway, I apologize. Pete, please, what you were saying, what he actually said to the baseball pitcher's family.
He said, quote, I'm going to find your kids and murder them. Would you forgive him?
Well, that happened to me once. I won't bother you with it now, but I'll tell you later if you want. Yes, sure would bother me. And I don't know about forgiving. I'm not in the business of forgiving. Let God do it. I'll sort them out later. I'll help
Starting their second week of OTAs, the Falcons still haven't had a tight end named Kyle Pitts on the practice field. An undisclosed injury they're being very careful with. Some reports say it's a foot issue, or maybe they don't want to see him get hurt before trading him. I don't know. There are rumors out there that teams want him.
Boy. Well,
so we'll see.
I would think.
Falcons have signed defensive back Josh Thompson, who was briefly with the team last year. He played for the Titans in the past. And speaking of Tennessee, the Titans will visit the Falcons training camp this August for a practice before both teams face off in the preseason game. And that's just right around the corner. It's 2 months away, basically.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
Season. Yeah. Eagles running back Saquon Barkley in his reverse hurdle will be featured on the cover of EA Sports Madden NFL 26.
Wow.
Now, is there still a curse on that cover?
Oh, I don't believe in curses, but I mean, who knows? I mean, people do. People do believe in that.
I'll curse you if you want.
Seriously, yeah. Well, frequently.
By the way, some enterprising person used AI to fashion a cover for EA Sports College Football 26.
Oh.
It's Belichick squeezed Jordan Hudson, hand on hip, standing on the sidelines in a Tar Heels coach's outfit, complete with headset. Belichick will not return to the Eli and Peyton Manning cast during Monday Night Football. He's kind of busy, they say.
I would think.
And ESPN College Game Day host Reese Davis, is he being a fun sucker? Says no one should replace the retiring Lee Corso and putting the mascot's head on during predictions. Agree or disagree?
That was just his thing, right?
That was his thing.
I say leave it alone then. It's his. Let it go.
Don't let anybody do it?
Nah.
Okay.
I think maybe they should come up with another one. I think maybe who do they want to do it? I mean, they have to pick a guy to be the special
Saban's
guy.
name was floated, and Saban goes,
he won't do it. No,
he's
not going to do that.
I can see Pat McAfee do it.
If anybody were going to do it, he would do it, but it wouldn't be a hat necessarily. It might be a banner or a shirt or rip it open a shirt to see what something different. Yeah.
Heisman Trophy winners Mark Ingram, Cam Newton, and Robert Griffin III, and former AP National Player of the Year Ndamukong Suh on the ballot for the 26th College Football Hall of Fame class here in Atlanta. The National Football Foundation released the ballot today. It'll be announced in January. Among other players, Colorado's Eric Bieniemy, Oklahoma State's Des Bryant, Penn State's Kajana Carter, Oklahoma's Josh Heupel, Washington State's Ryan Leaf, California's Marshawn Lynch, Simeon Rice of Illinois, and Florida State's Peter Warwick. Coaches on the ballot: Larry Coker of the Hurricanes, Texas Christian's Gary Patterson, and Boise State and Washington's Chris Peterson, and of course the Pirate, Mike Leach.
Hell, Mike. Now I don't know about coaches, but there's a lot of good football players in that list, man. That'd be hard to pick guys who don't deserve. Wow.
Yeah, any Heisman guy out.
You can't
keep
no
a
way.
Heisman guy out.
Got to be in there.
Speaking of Des Bryant, the former Dallas Cowboy receiver, not a fan of Gay Pride Month in the NFL.
No.
Says, I got nothing against gay people, but come on, it's gay players in the NFL, but forcing it in people's faces, especially children, can send the wrong message. Football is a real community, like the gay community. Imagine telling gays they have to advocate for straight people. They probably would have a problem with that.
That is a very interesting way to put it.
Bigot!
Bigot! If you force gay people to celebrate straightness for a month.
Well, they'll say they do it the 11 months.
Yeah, 11 months. Well, anyway, so there you can't win.
No, you can't win unless you just don't pay attention.
Don't play.
Strange stuff at a women's softball game Friday night. Oregon pitcher Lindsey Grine was on the mound as the Ducks took on Ole Miss in the Women's College World Series.
I saw part of that. Yes.
Grine delivered a 67 miles per hour pitch to the Rebels' Mackenzie Pickens when suddenly Oregon catcher Emma Cox threw her hands up to her eyes and knelt down at the plate. Turns out when Grine threw the ball, her cleat at the same time kicked up a small cloud of dirt in front of the mound. The softball hit the dirt, splitting it up like an asteroid into little projectiles, one of which hit Emma right in the eye.
Yeah. I saw that live as what happened. I mean, she grabbed her eye and thought, what the hell was that, a bug, a bee or something? They
thought it was a bee.
Then they slow motion. Great technology. They showed the dirt thing from her cleat coming up in slow motion, hit the ball, boom, like a projectile. Oh, man, that was very cool.
What are the odds of that happening?
Well, it's like what's the name? The lefty who killed that bird on the way to the pitching to the
Reggie
plate.
Johnson.
Reggie,
being a catcher, she stayed in the game. Good for her.
Yeah.
Now, UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov, no one gives a damn, raised eyebrows over the weekend when he refused to shake hands with CBS Sports broadcaster Kate Scott during the Champions League coverage in soccer. An awkward and embarrassing moment live on TV, but embarrassing for Kate, who actually, debased herself by apologizing to Khabib for daring to think he would act like a real human being and shake the woman's hand.
Whoa. I missed all of this. What? Because she's a girl, therefore she's less than human, and he's...
Haram or whatever it's called?
Now, is he like...
We can marry 10-year-olds and have sex with them, but we can't touch a woman's hand.
Okay, and where's he from? Who's this again? Where's he from?
I don't know where the hell he's from. Khabib, but no one gives a damn. I think is his name.
And who's the girl again?
CBS Sports reporter Kate Scott. Everybody was shaking hands on the panel, and he refused to shake her hand, and she apologized to him.
Oh, for putting him in an awkward spot. Poor
you
thing.
poor baby.
Oh, my God.
Anyway, barbarians. Why do we want to import the 6th century to Western civilization?
Well,
and we all know Muslims who fit in and love American society. But come on, there's a group like this moron that doesn't belong here.
Yeah, and that's not being racist or homophobic or anything else. That's just being real.
Your society shouldn't have to look like Paris did over the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. Scotty Scheffler became just the second man to defend his Memorial Tournament win by beating Ben Griffin by 4 strokes. Did you watch any of it?
I watched part of that. I'll tell you that Ben Griffin came out of freaking nowhere. That guy can play. Man,
really?
Can he hit that way he play? Oh, what?
Oh, you think he can play? Because somebody else doesn't really have a high opinion.
Oh, really?
Afterwards, host Jack Nicklaus praised all the golfers equally with some fine and encouraging words.
Uh-oh.
Or...
Oh, no.
The Golden Bear said this, quote, and it's a long quote. I think that great players are ones who rise to the occasion and ones who know how to play coming down the stretch in important events. Looking at the leaderboard today, he didn't have, meaning Scheffler. I mean, Ben Griffin's a nice player. Sepp Straka is a nice player. Nick Taylor is a nice player. Those were all the guys that were there basically coming down the stretch. But Scheffler knows that those guys, are not in his league.
Oh, God.
Now, if he would have had, I don't know who else it might have been, but if he had someone else at the top like Xander or somebody like that would have been there, he might have said, well, that might be a little tougher. I might have to do something different. He didn't have to, end quote.
Oh, Jack. Hell, he's 82 or something, so I guess that's all right.
You suck, man. You suck.
Because that guy, Ben, I mean, what a remarkable...
I never heard of him.
And by the way, these guys, they were showing, a couple times they had like 204 yards of the green, 8-iron. You've got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't relate to anything in pro golf these days. I can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Jack Nicklaus is not going gently into that good night, is all I'm saying.
Big Jack.
Today in sports history, June 2nd, 1935, Babe Ruth hangs up the cleats, announces retirement from baseball. He struggled with the Boston Braves, hit just 181, would go into Hall of Fame, the inaugural class the next year. 2010, Armando Galarraga, the greatest crime maybe in baseball history, tosses a one-hitter, a 3-0 win against Cleveland. No, he didn't. He pitched a perfect game. Galarraga had a perfect game with 2 outs in the ninth. Jason Donald inexplicably called safe by umpire Jim Joyce at first base. It was not even. What kills me if it was close. I could see it.
Yeah.
But it's a perfect game with 2 outs in the ninth.
Right.
It's not even close. What the blank are you looking at? And to his credit, Jim Joyce broke down and cried afterwards when he watched the replay and apologized him, and they went out and exchanged cards the next day, and Armando forgave him, said, mistakes happen, and that probably helped bring the replay thing in. I don't know if they've retroactively gone back and changed that as to a perfect game, but we all know it was a perfect game.
And we all saw that and said, oh my, and by the way, the first thing I remembered was, I can't believe that pitcher didn't take his head off. And the pitcher acted with grace and gentlemanly behavior. I couldn't believe, because I know I would have thrown a hissy fit. And
George Brett-like out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're right to mention that umpire did the right thing eventually. He was actually crying about what a horrible thing he did to that. I mean, nobody could believe it. Perfect game.
He took immortality away from that kid.
Unbelievable. Anyway, Pete Davis, we got so much more coming up. Give her Pete and Flauta. We still have Pete's tweets. Let's do Pete's tweet. You want to do Pete's tweets?
Let's do Pete's tweets.
Let's do Pete's tweets coming up next. Give her Pete and Flauta. How you doing? Happy Monday. Look out.
Miss any of the show? No sweat. Grab your XTRA 106.3 app and listen to show replays whenever you want. Download the XTRA app now for Apple and Android by searching for XTRA 106.3.
You need a pre-owned car or truck, but you don't need the headache of searching for one. Spending hours calling dealerships, then spending half the day filling out paperwork.
Come on.
You need the Honest Car Guy.
Hey, this is Tom from the Honest Car Guy. We help you buy your next pre-owned car or truck honestly. We guarantee each vehicle we sell will come with a copy of the bill of sale showing what we paid for it. You pay what we pay, plus an honest fee. Guaranteed.
Get an honest car buy from the Honest Car Guy. Call 844-SHOW-ME-1. That's 844-SHOW-ME-1, or visit honestcarguy.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
Now, I know there are plenty of HVAC companies out there, but let me tell you why Central Heating and Air Conditioning stands out from the rest. These days, it's hard to tell who's on first. Everybody wants to play. Many of the local HVAC companies, though, have been sold to large conglomerates. And some are even coming back under new names. But at Central Heating and Air Conditioning, they never left the field. They've been your hometown team since 1947. And their dedication to our community has never wavered. They are the grand slam you can count on. Central's team of experts know the game inside and out, delivering dependable service and personalized solutions every time. So don't get caught off base. Choose the HVAC team that's always been in the game. Get Carrier products, Carrier warranty, and Carrier peace of mind. Turn to your Atlanta Carrier experts. Central Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today, 770-GET-HEAT, or visit them online at centralheat.com.
We're smart, we care. We're Central Heating and Air.
My name name is Patrick, and I'm the Military Outreach Manager at the Warrior Alliance. I served in the U.S. Army as an airborne ranger and deployed to several combat zones in support of the global war on terror. Veterans bring excellence through our work ethic, skills, and civic duty. However, transitioning to civilian life can be difficult, as we all share a loss of purpose when leaving the military. Returning veterans have earned and deserve our support so they can thrive on their journey home. The Warrior Alliance understands the challenge and is helping warriors navigate to success after service. Join us in changing thousands of lives for the better. Donate today at thewarrioralliance.org.
Hey, this is Matt from East Cobb. We basically bought our house from our in-laws. It was my wife's childhood home. One of the issues that we've had when we first moved in was our dog in our backyard. It was extremely shaded, could never grow grass back there. We resodded it twice. So ATL Turf Co. did an amazing job with our backyard transformation. They basically created a miniature golf hole. We have a miniature fairway. We also have a miniature little putting green. Consists of about 4 holes, total about 40 yards, so you can definitely work on your short game and your putting. After that transformation that ATL Turf Co. did for us, my father-in-law came and saw his house the way it looked after the fact of we had a putting green and a miniature golf course. Sure enough, he did the same thing with ATL Turf Co. He has a beautiful backyard, wonderful stonework, drainage, and a beautiful practice area for chipping and putting. Check him out online at atlturfco.com.
The Morning Extra, starting your day the right way. Weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
Every single day, I'm waiting on my Trump victory because every single day there's something that occurs where I just go, that got him. And that's the weird part about what's going on.
Can I give you something that might be today? This was in the New York Times, and it says Trump's new deputy FBI director has it out for the, quote, scumbag commie libs.
Yes.
That's exactly right. She didn't write that headline for us. She has no idea that that's exactly what we voted for and exactly what we wanted to hear. She has no idea, dude.
She's busy thinking that's some sort of detriment.
Yes, of course. She thinks.
I am an idiot going, yes.
No, you're not an idiot. See, that's the thing. She's the idiot. That's why everything is trending in the right direction.
He hates communist scum. All right, pretty cool.
Yeah, count me in.
Sounds good, brother. I'm right there behind you.
I love that idea. Dan Bongino, thank you.
Atlanta's only conservative news and talk station is Extra 106.3.
Here we go now. It's the Stones. That was a big day. 1963. The Stones played 2 gigs in this one day. First one was at Soho Club in London. A regular Sunday afternoon gig at the club from 4 to 6:30. Billed as the Rhythm and Blues with the Rolling Stones. That was the afternoon gig, and then that evening they went to the Crawdaddy Club in Richmond, Surrey, and played a little action there. What's that?
You don't have Charlie Watts on your birthday list?
Charlie Watts.
He's gone now.
He's gone. Well, that's why I had him this morning and then realized he died, so I didn't have it because he died. But I
always
did
mention Charlie.
I should mention Charlie. In fact, I will mention this also. Speaking of the Stones, that was 1963 or something. On this day in 1989, after announcing his engagement 2 months earlier, 52-year-old Rolling Stones bass player Bill Wyman married 18-year-old Mandy Smith, whom he had been dating since she was 13. Then Bill Wyman divorced her when she grew too old at the age of 20. Not long after that, Bill Wyman's son started dating Mandy's mother. Okie dokie. I don't think I could go over that again, just in
and
case
then his
you lost.
son married. His son married either the mother or the daughter.
Yeah, I think he married the daughter. I think he was having an affair with the mother, and then I think he married the daughter, who had already been married to his father. Oh, God, it's all creepy. Let's see. Birthday, let's include a couple of sports things there, Pete Davis. Amy Wambach, the soccer girl, is 45. Is she the one who used to take off her shirt all the time? Or she's known for something. I can't remember. Amy Wambach, 45. And Gary Bettman, the hockey. Is he the commissioner of the hockey NHL? One of them. Or one of the
worst commissioners in history of sports.
I hear nothing but bad things about him. It's very bizarre. And again, I mentioned on this day in 1941, the reason that the Yankees and the Dodgers were all wearing the number 4 was because Lou Gehrig died on this day of ALS at the age of 37 in 1941. On this day in 1987, the Seattle Mariners draft a guy named Ken Griffey Jr., who was 17 years old. In his senior year in high school, he batted .478. Ken Griffey Jr. went on to smash 630 homers and, of course, become a legend. So,
he retired on this day, too.
That's right. In fact, that should have... in fact, it doesn't say that. I'll be done. It should say that. And by the way, speaking of Babe Ruth, the way he got the name, he was raised in a school, industrial school for boys run by the Catholic Brothers. He learned to play baseball. At 19, he was signed by the Baltimore Orioles, and his fellow teammates in the media started referring to him as the team owner Jack Dunn's newest Babe. And that's how he got the nickname Babe Ruth, along with the Sultan of Swat and the Bambino. But here comes Jack's newest Babe. That's what they call him, Babe Ruth.
They tried to sell him to Connie Mack and the Philly A's for $10,000, him and two other players, and Connie Mack said no because he was a penny pitcher. They tried to sell Babe Ruth to the Reds. Imagine how baseball history would have changed.
Oh, man, for the National League Reds? Holy cow. What a war. I mean, what a funny thing. All right, 5:38, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. How you doing? 404-741-1230, 741-1230. We still got another Flounder's Funny coming up here and a whole bunch of newsy stuff, including setting the CBS people in their place. But first, a little thing called Pete's Tweets.
Eyal Jacoby tweets, in under 2 months, pro-Palestinians have tried to set the Jewish governor of Pennsylvania's home on fire with his family inside, gunned down a couple in D.C. in cold blood, and firebombed peaceful Jews using their free speech rights in Boulder at a vigil for hostages still held by Hamas. Yet the media only attacks those who call it what it is, domestic terrorism.
Unbelievable.
Don tweets, within the course of 24 hours, we've seen Paris destroyed by Muslim rioters, a potential Muslim terror attack in Ireland, and a Muslim terror attack in Colorado. Are we still going to pretend there isn't a common thread here?
Yeah, please.
What happens if you cross the border illegally into Singapore? Half a year in jail. In Russia, 2 years hard labor camp. Pakistan, 10 years in jail. India, 8 years in prison. And North Korea, they just flat out kill you if you cross their border.
Yeah.
In Biden's USA, free housing, health care, education, food, cell phone, and cash, but not under President Trump's America, but it still applies in Great Britain. I know. Hand your country over. Over the weekend, New Jersey liberal Senator Cory Booker gave the exact same salute that Elon Musk did in the past that caused the liberal legacy media to label Elon the fascist. Same motion, much different action from the lying media. In fact, hardly any of them even mentioned Cory's salute after they all wrote stories and op-eds calling Musk the new Hitler.
Yeah. And those who did say it said, well, it wasn't the same thing. It wasn't even close to the same
thing.
Exactly. The Babylon Bee says, Cory Booker announced his plan to occupy the Rhineland.
Seriously.
He did the Nazi salute. You can see it was the same thing, and the liberal media didn't even mention it, let alone attack him. Good Lord.
VBS Mutual Bank is the first bank in South Africa's history to be totally owned and managed by black Africans. So salute to them.
There you go. Congrats.
VBS Mutual Bank has closed its doors after the owners stole all the cash and bribed government officials to prop them up to height.
Don't tell Neil Bort.
And finally, I don't know if I should say this one. Should I say this one?
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. What the hell?
Mike, the engineer, found this nugget of joy and sent it to me, so he must have thought it would be fine.
There you are. Good enough.
Back in my day, blowing a tranny was an automotive issue.
Well, the thing of the transmission, if if it just starts, have you ever? By the way, have you ever done that? I remember once in my '56 Chevy.
The car.
The car. In my in my '56 Chevy, 3 on the tree, 3-speed stick, and I was driving along, and all of a sudden I hear this clinking and clunking sound, as parts started falling out of my car, and all I had was first gear.
I am living proof that no good deed goes unpunished. You want to hear this?
Wait, what'd you do?
After Katrina, they moved a lot of the animal shelters to southern Mississippi, even though they were hit pretty hard, too.
Oh, yeah?
They were begging for food and stuff. I loaded up my Jeep Liberty with all the food, dog food I could put in there. I put Red the dog in the front seat with me, and we took off one night heading to southern Mississippi.
Nice thought.
Right?
What a wonderful thought.
We got about an hour outside of Montgomery, Alabama, about 2 a.m., when everything just stopped. Nothing helped, nothing moved, nothing went. It went to the side. I basically had to nurse it in first gear back to a dealership and sleep all night waiting for them to open. They took one look at it and said, you ain't going nowhere tonight. and basically said, you're going to have to tow that back to Atlanta to the Jeep place and have them fix it.
Oh, wow.
So they bring this humongous tow truck up, which is like 2 stories tall to put
the big giant one for tractor trailers tow truck. Yeah.
So I'm holding Red. I go, and Red's like 70 pounds. I go, where's the dog going to go? He goes, well, he can ride up here with us. It's like 2 stories tall. I'm having to push Red up while he's grabbing him by the collar and pulling him up.
Have you ever seen those big tractor trailer rigs where you take 3 steps about 8 feet in the air to get in the cab? Oh, my God.
And Red sat in my lap the entire ride back to Atlanta and loved it. Just loved it.
Oh, boy. Well, that's pretty cool. Hey, my little Peach Streets. 543, can repeat and flounder. And again, if you didn't hear some of the stories about what they're calling the Operation Spiderweb has turned into Russia version of Pearl Harbor, the Ukrainian Operation Undercover people pulled off a beauty. They destroyed much of the Russian nuclear air fleet, the planes that fly the nuclear weapons, destroyed most of those by hiding explosive-laden drones in wooden sheds. The drones were inside the roofs of the sheds, loaded onto trucks, driven to the perimeter of 5 air bases. Then the roof panels were lifted off by remotely activated devices, so 117 drones used in the strikes could fly out of those wooden sheds and enact their attacks. At the right moment, the roofs of the houses were remotely open, and the drones flew out to hit the Russian bombers. Destroyed about 40% of the entire fleet, cost $7 billion in damage. It's branded Russia's Pearl Harbor. And now there's been a lot of discussion about this. If Ukraine can do this, then any sitting target is a sitting duck.
Yep.
I mean, how are you going to possibly, anytime there's anything, any shipment of anything delivered anywhere near a military base in your country would have to be taken apart and inspected to make sure there aren't drones hidden in it with some AI-controlled, explosive device to set them off for you? I mean, holy mackerel. I mean, look, we mentioned before, how about battleships in a port or ships at sea? What are you
no
doing?
one has battleships anymore.
Well,
It's
I know, but still, aircraft carriers, yeah. I mean...
Here's the question I think everybody's overlooking. Is this the time we should strike Russia?
Well, I'll tell you. Yeah, and again, by the way, what happened to ending the war and peace talks and truces and ceasefires?
Zelensky doesn't want to end this war.
Neither does Putin. No. He wants all of it.
And you think Putin's going to end it now?
I can't imagine.
He's
Not
just
now.
lost face.
Yeah. Here we go. Oh, mercy. It's 5:45 already. Holy cow. Kim, repeat and flounder. 404-741-1230 if you would like to join us, which would be our treat. How's it going? What I got?
Illegal border crossings are down 87%, and Army recruitment hits a 15-year high. So tell us again what's wrong with America? Yeah, exactly. Get it right with Atlanta's only conservative voice, XTRA 106.3 and the XTRA app.
Don't miss the first MLB All-Star Week event at Truist Park as talent meets tradition in the 3rd annual HBCU Swingman Classic presented by T-Mobile and powered by the MLBPA Youth Development Foundation. Join fans, athletes, and alumni to watch Hall of Famer Ken Griffey Jr. shine a light on 50 of the best young ball players from HBCUs around the country on baseball's biggest stage, July 11th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets today at allstargame.com/swingman.
There's a tidal wave of clean car happiness sweeping across Braves country. Tidal Wave Auto Spa is your go-to car wash destination for a game day ready ride. Experience Major League Clean at Tidal Wave, the official car wash of the Atlanta Braves. Stay clean car happy all season long with membership discounts, exclusive giveaways, and more. Visit TidalWaveAutoSpa.com/Braves for details.
My car is happy. I am happy. Tidal Wave Auto Spa.
Gentlemen, listen up. When it's not hard, it's really hard. Did you know that 50% of men over 50 have some form of ED? It's true, and I'm one of them. ED followed me everywhere. Heck, even my initials are ED. I'm Dr. Eric Deal from Total Body Therapy of Georgia, and I know ED. It can lead to feelings of embarrassment, stress, and sadness. But there's good news. I can fix it. I fixed mine, and I can fix yours too. At Total Body Therapy of Georgia, we are experts in the P-shot, testosterone replacement, regenerative therapy, trimix to create an erection, and more. Guys, ED won't get better on its own, but I can help you today. Call us at 404-777-1911. That's 404-777-1911, or learn about us more online at tbtofga.com. So take it from me, ED, Dr. Eric Deal at Total Body Therapy of Georgia. Call 404-777-1911 or online at tbtofga.com.
Hey, it's a Kimmer. Okay, you're driving along. Suddenly you hear that horrible sound of metal and crunching. It's an accident. Even if it's a little minor fender bender, man, that could be a nightmare. First, obviously, take care of yourself. But before you make a deal with an insurance company or anybody else, call David Van Sant with Van Sant Law. You know why? Because he used to work for the insurance company, so he knows how to get the right settlement and right away. Van Sant Law. Don't forget, if you don't get paid, they don't get paid. Protecting your interests. Insurance is great, but it's complicated. 855-GA-INJURY or vansantlaw.com. Here's a singer.
I've made up my mind.
Sing it, children.
To live in memory.
What beautiful music.
Of the lonesome time.
It's with an orchestra. I mean, it just makes a difference. It's just beautiful. The chorus. Da, 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 da.
It's useless to say.
What a beautiful song. What a talent. Ray Charles, 1962.
So I'll just live my life.
5 weeks, number one on this day, 1962. Don Gleason's penned country ballad, I Can't Stop Loving You. Also number one in Britain. Beautiful song. What a talent. Our birthday list includes Liam Cunningham, 64. Liam Cunningham is a guy with a gray beard, played Davos in Game of Thrones, loyal to Jon Snow at the end there, and one of the main characters, Liam Cunningham, 64 years old today. And on this beautiful song, we can play some more of this. Flounder, why not?
Here's a broken heart.
From Metallica to this.
Time has to steal since we've been apart.
Here we go. He goes up. There you go. Sorry. Ray Charles, what a beautiful song. By the way, now, Pete, maybe you appreciate this. I don't know about you, Flounder, or me for that matter, but Pete, do you have a feeling about the Dead Poets Society?
The movie?
The movie, yeah. Or anything about, for some reason, when I do my investigation of things that happen on history in this day, every source I had made a big deal about this day in 1989 was the Dead Poets Society released in selected theaters. And I'm thinking, boy, I saw them. I remember seeing the movie. It was a fictional male prep school. I went to an all-male prep school. The film starred Robin Williams, a charismatic English teacher who encourages his students to carpe diem, seize the day, embrace the passion for life expressed by great poets like Walt Whitman. With Keating's guidance, students, including Ethan Hawke and Josh Charles, had an underground campus organization called the Dead Poets Society. They got in trouble. Family authorities figures got involved. Tragic consequences. Keating taken to task for his influence as the teacher, as the professor or the headmaster or whatever he was. Let's see. Dead Poets featured a soaring score by Maria guy who did Dr. Zhivago. Negative reviews. Oh, this is why I made the news. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times. Remember Siskel Ebert? I used to watch that show every day when they did movie stuff. Roger Ebert of the Chicago Sun-Times called the film a collection of pious platitudes masquerading as a courageous stand in favor of something. He said, during the film's final scene, I was so moved I wanted to throw up. Best known for his zany, manic style of comedy, Robin Williams turned in a relatively understated performance, garnered some of the best reviews of his career, nominated for Academy Award for Best Actor. The film got 4 nominations, including Best Director and Best Picture. It did win Best Original Screenplay. Then Robin Williams then did Mork and Mindy on TV, stand-up career, Good Morning Vietnam, The Fisher King, Good Will Hunting, Mrs. Doubtfire, and Birdcage. Robin Williams suffered from Lewy body dementia, causes hallucinations and debilitating neurological symptoms, including depression. And Robin Williams took his life in 2014. Sad, sad, sad. 5:52. Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Let's have a little fun. Let's play Secretary Besant there, Flounder, just for kicks here. We got a second. Again, I love it when the mainstream media gets taken to task. The Treasury Secretary, and by the way, this guy impresses the hell out of me. Every time I see him interviewed, he's got that great smirk because he knows what he's talking about, and he loves to show it. Face the Nation. He's facing questions from that idiot Margaret Brennan. How many times we mentioned her name for doing something stupid, and she keeps repeating these stupid questions and trying to get him to say something that isn't true. Here's Besant taking on Margaret Brennan. Here we go.
We wanted to make sure that there aren't price increases, Margaret, and thus far there have been no price increases. Everything has been alarmist. The inflation numbers are actually dropping. We saw the first drop of inflation in 4 years. The inflation numbers last week were very pro-consumer.
Right.
We've
but you listen to earnings calls just like we do. You know what Walmart's saying, what Best Buy's saying, and what Target are saying.
But Margaret, I also know what Home Depot and Amazon are saying. I know what the South China Morning Post wrote within the past 24 hours, that 65% of the tariffs will likely be eaten by the Chinese producers.
The reality is there will either be less inventory or things at higher prices or both.
When we were here in March, you said there was going to be big inflation. There hasn't been any inflation. Actually, the inflation numbers are the best in 4 years. So why don't we stop trying to say this could happen and wait and see what does happen?
He said, America's never going to default. This is never going to happen. We are on the warning track, and we will never hit the wall. Good heavens. I mean, and again, Margaret Brennan's, well, the statistics say this. I mean, Margaret.
It's always negative.
It's just unbelievable. 5:54. And let's do this one more time just for the fun of it. Now, and tomorrow the Braves game has a special ticket package apparently for Pride Night at the Braves ballpark. And so that's a thing all over the place. And there's this one woman who showed up on social media, TikTok or someplace, who's very ticked off of the fact that her Target store has taken away Pride Month section stuff and put it with patriotic stuff. Flounder, if you will, the social media girl complaining about Pride at Target is all gone.
Happy Pride Month. In my Target that used to have the Pride section, it's now all USA. Yay.
Oh, wow.
It's an American summer. Except for tourism, because tourism's down because no one wants to come here. USA. Woo! And honestly, my dad served in the military, and I'd love to be really proud of this nation, but it's hard to be proud of it under Donald Trump. But hey, while you're here, pick up a USA bikini. Why not?
Oh, my God. You snotty little twerp.
Yeah, Target's really taken this anti-DEI thing to another level.
I mean, I almost feel bad for them, really. I mean, they're just
don't feel bad for those losers.
How can you live in a world like that? It's got to be awful to wake up in the morning and just be miserable.
Imagine holidays with someone like that.
Oh, God. And again, her father, a military guy. Now, maybe he's a wussy military guy. I mean, they're there. I don't know. But still, I mean, and again, I'm a Marine, and my two daughters are two of the most liberal people, wonderful, sweet, wonderful people, give you the shirt off their back and let you stay in their home. But they're screaming liberals, and that's, it wasn't my doing. It was a public school and their friends and cell phones and everything else is how that your family, your children are raised but for their cultural beliefs. It isn't the parents anymore.
This woman feels so self-important and narcissistic. She has to go on social media and tell everybody how she feels about
Well, it's because she knows better, silly. By the way, speaking of silly, there's a new brand of sunscreen called Primally Pure. Primally Pure. Along with a photo of the product, it reads poison-free SPF. I forgot what that stands for. It's a rating number for the strength of the sunscreen. Poison-free SPF with tallow. Tallow. The sun isn't poisoning you, but your sunscreen is. And then somebody realized, wait a minute, tallow, that's from beef. That's from meat. Beef tallow is what McDonald's used to put their fries in. The grease fat from beef. And so people are saying, no, wait a minute. Babes, you're poisoning your face by try this rendering beef fat instead. For skin as healthy as a McDonald's French fry. Made with grass-fed tallow. Technically, the fat derived from the kidneys and loins of cows that eat grass-fed diets. And by the way, a guy at Stanford Medical School says, this is not, it doesn't going to do it. Anyway, it seems kind of... My great-grandfather used to slather his arms with bacon grease, thinking it would help him to keep sunburning. No, it just made him extra crispy. Louis Black did a bit about using Crisco instead of sunscreen because it's cheaper, and when you start to sizzle, well, you know it's time to move your ass. So, well, beef tallow for sunscreen? I don't think so. Anyway, and then there's a 335-pound guy who went to Walt Disney World and went down the water slide, and of course he went flying like some kind of giant blimp balloon in the air when he landed on his ass and hurt himself. And of course there's a limit to 300 pounds for going on the water slide. They let him do it anyway, and of course he hurt himself, and now he's suing. Oh, please. That seems like pretty much a slam dunk. You're over the weight limit, sir. I'm so sorry.
Literally.
You know. Anyway, God, it's already 5:58. Here we go. Little Flounders Funnies here on the Monday Funny. What's going on, sir?
I took a typing class in 7th grade. That's how... And I thought it was a waste of my time. In my head, I was like, who's going to be typing? Cursive is the future. That's why I like it as the future. I don't know what's going on. I don't know technology. I don't know what AI is. I don't think you get to know what AI is and also see a donkey jump off a high dive. I think it was one or the other. And I saw the donkey, so I'm out. If I send an email and it says the file is too big, I don't know what to do. My best guess is I try to resend it. That's what I try to do. You know how dumb that is? The computer's like, no. And I go, what about now, though?
Nate Bargatze. Even my daughter Jennifer just discovered him and is a big fan. By the way, speaking of AI, all of a sudden on my phone, I'm getting things where like a giant bird will attack a lion and lift him up in the air or something. All these fake animal fights are popping up all of a sudden. And I think it's got to be all AI. Somebody's doing it, and it's supposed to try to look real. Man, I'm telling you, what's true? Anyway, Kimmer, Pete, and Flounder. Tomorrow all over again, baby. Sing me home, Christine. I got to go. You're killing me out, baby. Herp. Look out. Herp.
The Morning Extra, every weekday morning from 6 to 10 on WFOM and W292 EV Marietta, a Dickey Broadcasting Station. Extra 106.3.